What is up, Buttercups? Welcome to stream. Welcome to stream, everybody. It is Thursday, April 16th. Thursday, April 16th. 200 days to midterms. We're at the 200 mark, chat. 200 days till the midterm. Welcome to stream. If this is your first time watching, hello, my name is Jovan. I'm a fat black leftist who likes to debate and argue with people about stuff that they're really stupid about. If this is your second time to stream, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad I made a really good first impression. If this is your third time in stream, well, zip, zippity loo. I don't know what to tell you. We're here to debate today. The number to call into debate is 219-327-8005. That number, again, 219-327-8005. Pillow is currently standing by to screen. So say W Pillow in the chat, everybody. W Pillow in the chat. We did already get a super chat, and I just read it. How much do I have to pay for you to not use the voice changer for a month? $16 million. I have too much fun with it. I like the voice changer. I have way too much fun. I have way too much fun with it. If you want to support the stream, guys, Cash App and Venmo are on screen. You can also tip. Tipping is available. You can also super chat. Super chatting is a cool way to show your support. Or you do nothing. All is fine. But we're here to debate today. So our topics on the flippity floop: the Iran war is unjustified. Trans men and women are men and women. The Christian God is evil. Gender affirming care for minors. MAGA is uneducated. Systemic racism / white privilege are real. That's the topics. Brings back Chipmunk Jovan. Crazy. You have a Switch or Switch 2, are you getting Tamagotchi Life? No. Never played a Tamagotchi game. Have no real desire to. It's too big. It's too wide. It won't fit. Hopefully we get some decent calls today. Hopefully all our calls are not like God specific today. That'd be great. Yesterday was literally all specifically God calls, so. How much for you to call J-Man and talk for 20 minutes or until he hangs up if it's before 20 minutes? I miss J-Man. I don't know where J-Man is. I don't have J-Man's phone number. We're not on speaking terms. Been pranking a MAGA radio show for days and he just blocked my number. I'm so mad. Give me the number. Give me the number. Just a reminder, tonight I will be on with Lux for calling it now. And then tomorrow is the first gauntlet. So tomorrow is the gauntlet. Our joining me tomorrow, and unless anybody cancels on me, tomorrow you will have Alec Gunter, Lux, Arden, Matt Dillahunty, and Dalton, all joining me to debate who is the best superhero. Every 5 minutes, you, the audience, that's right, you, the audience, will vote out who you think is doing the worst job. So join us here tomorrow for the gauntlet. Homie said I turned away his call. That's hilarious. Calls when I'm about to end stream and goes, "You turned away my call." Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, of course I did. My God, you just can't stop bitching and moaning in the chat, can you? It's the Brian Craig show. Let me see. Oh my God. Oh, that's embarrassing. I was wondering what you think of perspectivism and the perspective that we may just be a bunch of beings perceiving our own realities and that debating others is not very productive. All evidence points to me that we're not all perceiving different realities from each other. So I wouldn't believe in that. Doctor Strange needs a third movie, I guess. I mean, he's not. We're getting a Marvel's resetting after Secret Wars, so I mean, unless he sticks around, I don't know who, if anybody's gonna stick around. But I'm pretty sure. Remy, thank you so much for the gifted subs over on Twitch. Nitty Lizzy, thank you for resubscribing for 12 months of tier 1. I am on wait, is it Lamont Bond? What was I gonna say? Lamont Bond, thank you for resubscribing for 6 months of tier 1. Solace Fennec, thank you for resubscribing for 9 months of tier 1. Oh no, I'm not gonna call into him. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna message him and see if he wants to schedule a moderated debate so he can't hang up. I don't trust MAGA people like him to have a good faith debate if it's not moderated. So I would say, do you want to do a moderated debate? Oh, next week, me and Jimmy are supposed to be doing a pre-planned debate on Calling It Now. So we'll see if that happens. Would you rather have a young Earth creationist son or flat Earth daughter? Flat Earth daughter. Flat Earth is just funnier as a conspiracy. Still stupid, but it is funnier than young Earth creationism. You got a big force on dinosaurs? True. Spencer, thank you for the Venmo. What's the difference between a nicely dressed person on a unicycle and a poorly dressed person on a bicycle? Attire. Crazy, Spencer. Coda, thank you for the 10 gifted subs over on Twitch. Grammy, thank you for the 2 other gifted subs over on Twitch. Thank y'all. I think you have to be dumber to believe in flat Earth than young Earth. Yes. Yeah, it's definitely dumber to believe in flat Earth more than young Earth. Yeah, 100%. Would you rather get lung cancer or never be able to ride a unicycle again? Is a funny question. Oh yeah, Mamdani is doing the tax on properties above 5 million if they're not your primary residence, and I've never seen poor people lose their mind more than when rich people get taxed. My God, the poor, like New Yorkers who don't own any property are real mad that New Yorkers that own property are gonna get taxed. Coda, thank you for the other gifted sub. Pillow's screening a call right now, so we'll see what happens. So as a follow-up question, how do you account for the difference in taste, as in someone thinks pineapple on pizza is good, another person thinks that it's horrid? Because our taste buds are different. Like, we don't all have the same taste buds. Even your taste buds are different. Taste buds change every, I think it's 6 or 7 years. Your taste buds are completely different than the ones they were before. Oh no, those poor property owners. Whatever will they do? That's funny. Is that so wild? I had it out on Facebook with a guy complaining about the millionaire tax where I live. Like, bro, this will never affect you. No, it's so true. And they always want to be like, yeah, but. And I'm like, but what? They'll leave the cities. No, they don't. We see that the wealth doesn't leave. New York and California are the profit capitals of the country. They're not upping and moving. Like, what? All the rich people will leave. Good. Okay. They somehow think billionaires make the money instead of hoard it. Well, they think that billionaires redistribute the wealth, which is, don't know where they get that. All right, let's bring up a caller. All right, calling in is Raphael. I guess this is kind of an office hours call, so we'll see. Raphael, what's your age and pronouns?
I'm 49, and I'm a he.
Okay, and it says here you are on the fence about God being evil. Is that correct?
I mean, there's a lot of evil that he does in the Bible. I can agree and attest to that.
Okay.
I mean, not only him, but a lot of the people that you see that represent, like Abraham, he was a liar. I think that's bad.
All right. Well, then what are you on the fence about then?
I mean, I grew up a Christian, and I went through cancer. Um, I have rectal cancer, and did the radiation, chemo, and all of that. So I'm not gonna lie, where I wouldn't think of like if there is a God, whether if I pray to him, whether he would help me or not. You know what I mean? But it's kind of, I don't know. The thing with me is like I have the religion aspect of it because I was born into Christianity, but I've also been through paths in my life where you kind of feel abandoned by what I mean, the teaching, because like he's supposed to be omnipresent and like know everything, right? And so that's why in a way I can kind of agree that he is kind of an evil god, because me being almost 50 going through cancer is hard. I can imagine being a kid going through cancer, how rough that could be. So that I kind of almost agree that like that is very malice of a
But
god to
I'm
do
just
that to
I'm just
kids.
like, what would be the reason to believe in God in the first place? Like, if it's just because
Well,
like your family believed in God and they raised you to believe in God, that's not a real in at least in my opinion, that's not a what's the word I'm looking for? That's not a very good compelling reason to believe in him.
c- correct. But then again, when you're brought up in like a Christian home, it's almost like how we use the Gregorian calendar, right? Like you might not like Christmas that much, but you'll love like Halloween or something, right? But you're born into that tradition, you know what I mean? And then you're kind of fed it like as
Sure,
you're
but like
growing up, right?
the calendar like isn't like it's like a subjective thing, right? Like it's hey, we people have adopted this system of dating. So like we just keep using it. If somebody created a better system, we would switch probably. But like Christianity is making a claim about the universe that you are believing in with no evidence.
Correct.
The
Cor-
calendar isn't making a
correct.
claim that I'm believing in.
Correct. I get the points that you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with those points. What I could add to those points is that, like, as religion is claiming, you know what I mean? Just like this day and age right now, right? You got a lot of people in politics, even our president and so forth. You know what I mean? Like pushing religion, right? And this is why I say like I'm on the fence because, like I said, I grew up in Christianity. I know, what I mean, what they're saying, but then by those sayings and the things in the Bible, there's also hypocrisy there, right? Because
Do you
they
let me
say
ask you a
certain
question.
things, and
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in Santa Claus?
I don't believe in Santa Claus.
Were you raised being told Santa
I
Claus
was
was
ra-
real?
I was raised to believe that there was a Santa Claus, right? Like go to sleep, let's get the
Yeah,
cookies out,
why don't you still
Santa's
believe in
coming.
him?
Because I know that's not true. You
Why
know what I
not?
mean? Because it's like I know that's not true. I don't need to have faith that that he's a living thing. I know he's not a living thing, right?
Ex-
That's why I referred to calendar, right? Like the Gregorian calendar. You have Easter. We know bunnies don't lay eggs. You know what I mean? So like I know Easter is not true, right? No, Halloween's not true. My point is I could get where you're saying like religion doesn't have to be true, and I would agree with
I
you.
wouldn't say
Because
religion
look,
doesn't have to be true. I'd say it's like religious belief. Like the idea that a God exists is categorically false. And you're just believing
I
it with no, or you're on the fence about whether or not you should continue to believe it. But like, if there's no evidence for something, I say it's okay that we stop believing in it.
I totally agree with you, right? Because look, in the last book of the Bible in Revelations, right? It's like chapter 22 or whatever. It says that and I mean, I'm like you, I just use it because you have to use it in order to explain things to Christian people, or else it's like, well, where are you pulling this stuff up from? But in the end there, it says that Jesus says, right, he is the first and the last, and blessed are those that keep his commandments. But um, people that are like dogs, sorcerers, sexual immoral people, idolaters, and a person that practices and loves a lie is the same as all those people. So therefore, technically, every Christian celebrating Christmas, Easter, and all that is practicing a lie. Like you know what I mean? So you to me, I'm like I said, I'm on the fence. I was raised in it, but I've been like you said, if there's no proof that it's real, why and there's something else, why don't we go with that? I'm all for that. Like it's just people want to know, right? Because they'll ask you, well, what's better than Christianity? And I honestly can't tell you. I don't have an answer.
I don't know, a
You
hole
know
in
what
the
I mean?
head,
But
probably.
what's that?
Said a hole in the head, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. But my point is like, and like I said, I kind of told him in the beginning, like I am on the fence, but a lot of stuff that I've been just seeing for myself, right, of how people are, because I've experienced it. Like just recently, right, I had this person like coming to me like I was some kind of pedophile, trying to look for kids in the playground. Meanwhile, my kids are in the playground. You know what I mean? Like I'm not there to find. I have my kids. That's why I'm in the playground. But he had like a Trump sticker and like Jesus is my savior and Trump is my president. And I just and I'm Mexican, so I kind of see like the hatred and the racism and how they use things, right? Especially when you're like he threatened me, right? Like be careful around here and stuff like that. Like they, you know what I mean? So it kind of woke me up to where I kind of see things differently, where I don't believe that religion is, or at least Christianity, right, is like headed in the right direction where people only use it to their convenience. You know what I mean? And then
I
when it
think
when it
that
doesn't suit
I
them,
think that religion, and especially Christianity, sort of destroys people's ability to be skeptical. And without the ability to be skeptical, we sort of just start to take information at face value. And I genuinely believe part of the issue with why conservative Christians anyway, um, why conservative Christians are uh the ones that are quicker to believe misinformation is because they don't have any skepticism. They've already believed
well,
the biggest
I
possible claim with the smallest amount of evidence possible. So it's not going to take them much of anything to believe smaller claims with even less evidence than that.
let's. Not, I agree with you. That's why I'm saying at some point earlier on, like in the religion and how I was taught the religion, I would be disagreeing with you. But that's why I said like I mean like I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? But I'm more of getting off the fence to a side now where it's like, a lot of the stuff is there and if you actually open your eyes, you know what I mean? Like you can see it, and then once you see it, it's like you can't unsee it, you know?
I mean, yeah, to me, I think it's, I don't know. I've never been religious, so I've never had,
So let
since I've
me
never
ask you
been
this. Do
religious, I've
you
never
know the
had the, like, I've never not, I've always known that I don't believe, but go ahead.
right? Well, let me ask you this. Have you read the Bible?
Yes.
You've read the Bible. What
Yes.
things in the Bible like stuck out to you that's like, man, like that doesn't sound right.
All the times God committed genocide.
Okay, I'd agree with you. Like I said, I was born into it. My grandfather like built a church. Like they used to hang around the tree, and you know what I mean. Like that's how they started their congregation, and then they made a church, and then it passed on to my dad, and then my dad was trying to like have me be like, you know what I mean, the person after him, and kind of keep it going. But when I was young, the Bible was read to me, right? And I had gotten locked up, started reading the Bible, and now at an older age, after being diagnosed with cancer and stuff, it kind of made me want to fall back to something to feel some kind of security. But when I started reading it, it it's just like Abraham lying, right? Like if you're a person of God to me, right? Like a person like Abraham, you shouldn't be lying, right? And so he's lying in the Bible about his wife being his sister. And so, and it's not just once, it's like twice, you know what I mean? And then his son does it also. Like, it's just, to me, it's like if you're going to believe the Bible and what it says, and that people are wholeheartedly divinely inspired by God, right? Because, like, in the end, like, you want Jesus to be sacrificed to shed his blood for your sins, right? Like, I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just like, why are all those people now like lying or giving up their daughters or concubines so they could be used and abused or known? You know what I mean? Like, instead of just being like with God, it's every anything that's impossible is possible, right? So I'm not gonna send my daughter out, or you know what I mean? But it's like these people like Lot and Abraham, and then like they do things that like go against what my moral compass would be right now. And I don't feel like I would need a book now to give me moral compass, right? Like I can't sit there and pray and ask God to take away cancer from me. I actually got to go to the hospital and actually start the process. You know what I mean? Like the treatment program that I had to get rid of cancer. You know?
Well, all right. Well, yeah. Well, our it looks like we're mostly in agreement, and I do got to get to some of the other calls, Raphael. So I do got to move on to some of the next people. Okay.
Hey, you have yourself a good one, bud. I just wanted
You
to
too.
kind of not not maybe I'll debate you on another issue, but it kind of, like I said, was on the fence, but now that I see things a little bit more clearly, it kind of got me off the fence and on the aside. But you have yourself a good one, bud.
Yep. You too. Okay. How many times I got to tell you that I was office hour call? So I don't turn the timer on for office hour calls because there are different types of calls. Oh. I saw somebody in chat who was like, an Iranian official admitted they were building nuclear weapons. None. Zero credible evidence for this. They're just saying shit. It's so funny to me when people just comment and just say shit. All right, let's take the next call. All right, coming up is Chris. Chris is calling to talk about topic number 5, MAGA being uneducated. Chris, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Yes, no pronouns. I'm a man. My age is 57.
So, Chris, the rule of the show is you
I don't
provide
have it.
pronouns.
Okay. Him and him.
Him and him?
Man, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I've never even thought about my pronouns.
It's
I'm just a dude.
okay.
I don't mean any disrespect by that at all.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I hope you don't get angry, but I would like to change my subject. I hope, I hope you don't get mad. If you do, you can certainly hang up. But the thing about Christianity is, and it's the thing that a lot of people, a lot of atheists forget, is Christianity is based on faith. It's based on faith. We believe the Word of God. We believe what it says by faith.
Okay.
So we,
I don't
I think,
disagree with that. I think Christians
uh-huh.
have to
I
believe in
think,
faith because there isn't any evidence on the contrary.
right. There isn't any evidence, but I think atheists use atheism to try to make themselves look smart, and that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. But
What?
I would, if I'm looking, who would you rather someone put their faith in? Would you rather them put their faith in the Bible or science?
Science.
For
100% of the
instance,
time.
science, even though science is
1,000% of the
flawed.
time. Yes.
Well,
The Bible's
see,
yes, the
we're just,
Bible is much more flawed.
yeah. See, the science duped people into believing that a child in the womb was just a clump of cells. That's
We're all just clump of
why
cells.
we don't have any faith in science, none whatsoever.
We're all just
I
clumps of
believe,
cells. Every single one of us is just a clump of cells.
right, but we're humans as well.
Sure,
And
science doesn't
and
deny that a fetus in the womb is like a human fetus in the womb is a human. Science doesn't deny this.
really, well, I've
Yes,
always heard that they say that it can't survive outside the womb,
it can't.
yeah, I've
It
always
is
heard that.
science
I'm
tells
sure
us
I'm
that it
wrong.
can't because it's unable to perform homeostasis until a certain time period. It has to reach a
Okay, well,
certain stage of gestational development.
let me ask you this: what about premature babies that are born?
Yes, they're typically born after the stage of gestational development in which a baby can maintain homeostasis. Tends to be after
Well,
24
see, we
weeks.
disagree on that. Uh,
What?
and I'm sure that science. I mean, for instance, I have pancreatic cancer, and it is unbelievable how far they've come from treating something that I'm stage 2, but treating something that was a death sentence years and years ago. But now I'm in remission. So science does they do wonderful things, but I'm not going to put my faith lock stock in science, because guess what? Scientists are humans, and humans err, and they fail. So but it is faith, and I don't expect you to
So
believe that.
here's my issue here.
I
Here's
don't
my issue
expect
here.
you to believe.
My issue is that
I don't expect.
you're saying I don't believe in science because science is human and humans make errors. Science is just an
Right.
observational tool. But you're saying I'm going to put my faith in God and have faith that this is a being that can't err. So yeah, if I'm making up some mythical being that is flawless to put my faith in, sure, but it's
I'm
made
not
up.
asking you to do that, though.
I'm not saying you are. I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
asking you to put your faith in that. But what
I'm
I'm
not.
asking you is, don't call us stupid because we do.
I think Christians are stupid for a lot of
I don't want
reasons.
you. I
Being
don't want you
Christian
to
isn't one of
believe.
them.
I don't want you to believe anything that you don't want to. I don't believe in whatever you choose. That's your right. But I think what we see is that your side thinks all of us are stupid, regardless.
What is my side?
Progressives, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
You
I
are
think
I'm
conservatives
sorry,
are
I didn't
stupid.
mean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
then
that's just
why the fuck
categorically
did I
true.
call?
I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you originally
you're a
called to talk
typical
about MAGA
smart ass
being
little prick.
you.
So
I mean,
I
you.
can't do.
What did I
I
do? I
tried to be
agreed with a
decent.
statement you made.
I tried to be decent, and you're just like every other content creator.
I agreed with a
That's all
statement
you.
you
Oh,
made. You said you think
conservatives
we're
are
all stupid. I
stupid.
just agreed with that. Yes, I think conservatives
Here you go.
tend
Here
to
you go.
believe
See
in
if you can agree
things
with this.
that cause
See if you
harm,
can
and I
agree
think
with
believing
this.
in things that cause harm is stupid.
Fuck you.
When and where?
And
Just bring a condom. I
when
like
I
to be
get
safe.
done with your mama, how's that?
She only touches people with more than 10 teeth.
Okay.
You can try.
Well, ask
You'll
her
probably get
about last
denied.
night then. She didn't. She was hollering to God last night.
Was she?
So all you want to do is insult people and call them stupid. So fuck you.
You started this.
You're
What are you
worthless.
talking about, Chris?
You're
You
worthless.
started this
You
shit.
started it, Chris.
You
Fuck
literally
you.
started with the
You are a
nonsense, Chris. What are
content-
you talking
You are the
about?
same shit as all other dumbass progressive
Spell progressive.
commentators. It's the same thing. You're stupid.
Spell progressive.
You're stupid. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, I think that believing in conservative
fuck
politics
you.
makes you kind of stupid. And the people
I
that
don't
aren't
give a fuck
stupid,
what you
the people
think.
that aren't stupid that believe in it are just
But
bad
here's
people.
the deal.
They know
what?
that their policies hurt
Here's
people. They
the
don't
deal.
care.
Did you know
Damn,
that
Chris,
in
crashing out
October
hard
the
as
3rd?
fuck.
Let me go.
October the 3rd.
October the 3rd, and you're probably so stupid you don't remember this. You said that Donald Trump, when he hit when our military hit the girls' school, that was a war crime, correct?
Yes, hitting civilian infrastructure is a
All
war
right.
crime, yeah.
All right. Answer me this riddle, Batman.
Didn't
On
happen in
October the 3rd, Barack Obama killed 42 people in a hospital without borders facility.
Yeah, you ready for this, Chris? Are
15
you ready?
of
Are you
those
ready for this,
people-
Chris? Are you ready for this?
15
Obama's a war
people-
criminal. Are you ready for this? Obama is a war criminal.
Oh, really?
I believe he should be tried for his crimes. I believe Obama should be tried for the crimes he committed in Yemen. I believe Obama should be tried for the unmanned drone strikes he did that killed multiple civilians. Yes, I would consider Obama a war criminal because I'm not stupid, because I'm not dumb,
Okay.
and I hold all of these politicians to the same standards. When Donald Trump commits a war crime, he should go to jail. When Biden commits a war crime, he should go to jail.
I did not know that.
When Obama commits a war crime,
I did not know
he should
that.
go to jail. Yeah, because you made a bunch of assumptions,
So
Chris.
the people, let me ask you this. The people that supported Barack Obama, were they dumb, toothless idiots like
Were
you
they
claim we
dumb,
are?
toothless idiots?
Yeah.
Some of them
stupid
probably.
For supporting him.
I'd assume some of them were
twice.
dumb, stupid idiots, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you're all right. Fair enough. I stand corrected. You're very.
Do you think I'm out here worshiping politicians? Do you think I think that like politicians are these infallible creatures?
I do not worship politicians at all. What I think is just amazing the hypocrisy that you see. I'll give you another one. Bill Clinton in 1999 destroyed a pharmaceutical company in Sudan, said that it was making precursors to nerve gas. Guess what? They found out that that was not true. They only killed 2 people in the building. It was done at night. But the humanitarian crisis, the humanitarian crisis that ensued, because that company made 85% of antibiotics and anti-malarial drugs.
Throw his ass in jail, Chris. Throw him in jail. I don't care. Throw his ass in jail.
Where were you?
When Bill Clinton was in office? I was in 3rd grade. I was in the 3rd grade.
Where there was nobody.
Where was I? Actually, I was young. I wasn't even in 3rd grade. I think it was in 2nd grade when Bill Clinton. Where was I when Bill Clinton was in
Nobody
office?
was
Second
calling
grade.
him.
I was in the
Nobody
second
calling
grade.
for that.
I wasn't
Why not?
cognizant, Chris. I was fucking
I'm
like
not
8
talking
years
about
old.
you. I'm talking about
You
your
just
party.
said, where were you?
Why not? My bad. My bad. You were in the 3rd grade. I'm talking about your party. Where were they? Barack Obama apologized.
What party do you think I'm a part of,
no
Chris?
problem.
What party do you think I'm a part
You're a
of?
part of. I think you're a Democrat.
I'm not.
Progressive, liberal Democrat.
I'm
Well,
not
what
a
are you?
liberal either.
What are you?
Fun fact, Chris, I'm a communist. I hate both of them. Welcome to the club, bud.
Well, there you go then. You ready to try communism?
I've been ready to try communism for years. Let me know when we're going to finally do it. I'll be first in line to pick up my communal iPhone. Can't wait.
It's not ever, and it'll never happen in this country. No,
you can keep thinking that.
I'm not saying. I mean, no, it'll never happen. I mean, you guys have tried, right?
What?
I don't know nothing. I know absolutely nothing about the Communist Party in the United States.
I'm not a part of the Communist Party.
I'm stupid. Well, you just said you were a communist, right?
Yes, I am a communist. I am not formally a part of any political party.
Oh,
like I'm registered Democrat, so I can vote in the Democratic primaries, but I'm not a part of the Democratic Party.
Imagine that.
I was registered Republican for a while because I wanted to vote in the Republican primaries.
Let me ask you this: if you're not a member of at least an organization, then how are you going to get communism? I mean, how are you going to get
political parties aren't the only
elected?
way you get things done, Chris.
Oh, so you're going to militarily take over? Is that it?
What?
What?
I don't control a military, so probably not.
Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a military. I mean, you can get people together and arm yourselves and take over the country, right? I mean, if you can get big enough, you can do that.
It's not really on my bucket list at the moment.
I don't get it, man. I mean, you're complaining you're a communist. Well, then do something.
I'm a communist because the ideas of class destruction and a uniclass society in which everybody is on equal footing appeals to me. I like the idea that people would not be subservient to other people and we would all be unified under one common class distinction. Sounds pretty great, doesn't it?
Cool.
What do we need rich people for?
What do we need middle class for?
We don't need any class.
What do we need
Chris.
poor people for?
Chris, we don't need class.
Well, there you go. So let me ask you this: if communism was instated in this country, would that mean that white people are lose their white privilege, so called? I mean, because everybody would be equal, right? So there would be no more white privilege.
Yes, if we were in a true system of no class distinction, there wouldn't be the ability to be white privilege. Correct? White privilege wouldn't exist in a system of class dissolution.
Okay, and then racism. There would be no racism, correct?
There would be no racism on a systemic level. There might still be white people who think they're better, but they'd have no system that they could use to implement this.
Or there might be black people that hate white people.
Well, black people tend to have a reason to dislike white people.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Well,
I mean, 400 years worth of reasons at least.
That's convenient. Well, yeah. I wonder if a lot of African American people hate the Africans that sold their people into slavery as well.
Probably not, because they recognize that those countries, they recognize that the countries that were selling slaves were countries that were also under threat of colonialism, and where the Europeans and the people
Wait a
and the
minute.
Spaniards who came in, who were buying slaves for them, were
No. You
threatening
can't do
them.
that.
I
'Cause
can't talk. I can't talk to you about historical history.
White Europeans were not allowed in the interior of Africa.
That's not true.
When white Europeans came
That's
to
not
pick
true.
up slaves, they had to pick them up on the coast
This is fundamentally
in the
untrue.
slave camps. Well, I like I say,
Not
do
only
your
fundamentally untrue, but believe me, I have.
I've read about it. They traded Brazil and Portugal. Those countries were the first ones to receive slaves from Africa to work sugar plantations and coffee plantations. That's way before the white Europeans ever came.
Wonderful.
Warlords in Africa.
This doesn't discount the threat that colonialism had on these African nations.
Well, I'm just telling you, they sold them, man. And from what I've read, they weren't allowed into the interior of Africa.
This is incorrect.
They were not allowed. And the reasons that the Africans were selling the slaves was to get goods from the Europeans.
No, that was a byproduct, but the reason why most African nations engaged in the transatlantic slave trade was to protect themselves. It was because the threat of colonialism threatened the entirety of the nation if the nations didn't comply. Man. Yes, it is.
They got paid, dude. I didn't
say they didn't. That's a byproduct, but it's not the reason why they were selling.
Well, it's a byproduct. It's why they did it. It's why they did it.
They had two options here. They could sell slaves, or they could risk their entire nation being taken over by the colonialists.
So you don't think that there's
some it happened to. We know that multiple African countries fell to the British Empire. Like, we literally watched it happen.
So you don't think that African countries that sold slaves should be involved in reparations?
Do I think African countries that sold slaves should be? Those countries are already facing like disproportionate outcomes because European nations exploited them. No, I don't think that they should now also be forced to have reparations.
Well, you're never going to get reparations.
Not while previously. Okay.
When you don't have all parties at the table. I have no problem with the reparations, but bring all parties to the table that had anything to do with the 400 years of slavery. And I don't have a problem with it. I absolutely do not have a problem with it. But if you're gonna say, well, just white people pay reparations, no. It's not about white people. You recognize if, like, the United States passed reparations and we paid for reparations through our tax system, everybody would be paying into that, right? It wouldn't just be separate that only white payers' taxes go to reparations. So black people would be paying reparations?
Through a tax system, yes. But the benefits would go to fixing I feel like
I know you think I'm stupid, man. I'm just educate me, please.
Because we don't split our tax system up by race.
Well, I'm sure we do. We do.
We would just take the revenue. We would split where the revenue would go. So the revenue would go to primarily benefiting neighborhoods of color or communities of color. The revenue wouldn't go towards benefiting places that have had a historical advantage. But Chris, I've got to move on now, so this is where I leave you.
Well, I'm sorry you think I'm stupid, man.
It's fine. I think all conservatives are. It's nothing personal.
Well, sure
It's
it is.
literally not
Sure
about
it
you. It's I think all conservatives are kind of stupid. So it's quite literally nothing wrong with you.
That's all right.
It's just
Well,
conservatism rots the brain.
does it? And
Yes.
liberalism doesn't.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal.
Liberal policies work. So
Liberal
so
policies
you have
work more than
nothing.
conservative
So
policies,
here's the
but it's all
deal.
still capitalism.
Here's the
Gotta
deal.
go, Chris.
Well,
What the fuck was that call, bro? Shout out to Donnie. Donnie paid to get this guy off. Ayo, pause. I hate to break it to you. I'm not a liberal, but liberal policies are far more beneficial than conservative policies. Full. Ugh. Oh boy. Taylor, thank you for the Venmo. Said Chris was a walking, talking Facebook comment section, and I'm not even live on Facebook today. Let's bring him the next call. Coming up next is Peter. Peter is calling to talk about topic number 3, the Christian God being evil. Peter, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm 30, and I use he, him pronouns.
Okay, great. Peter, 30, he, him. And Peter, are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Peter, I believe the Christian God is evil. I believe he has committed untold atrocities throughout his given history. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
I do disagree. I think that, I actually don't use he, him pronouns when talking about God, because I think that like personifying God kind of makes it seem like God is just like some sort of thing that's like a person, but rather it's like this force that people have a relationship with. And I think that God isn't evil, just like gravity is not evil, just like any force isn't evil, but rather like our relationship to God reflects either our own evil acts or our own non-evil acts.
So I would say that God is personified because the text personifies him. If the text didn't personify him, I wouldn't personify him either.
Yeah, that feels fair. And I think that what happens is that in the translation, I think that the original idea was that the original Jewish people were talking about God through this non-personified idea known as Yahweh, that then became personified when people started seeing God incarnate in Jesus.
Possibly, but it's still part of the same religious text. So if you don't believe like the Bible, if you don't think that the Bible is an accurate representation of God's will or the actions God has engaged in, then there's not much we can discuss, because then we have no proof of what God has ever done.
Right.
If the Bible is an accurate representation of the actions done by God or the will of God, then we have a bunch we could talk about of why he would be evil.
Well, I think that it's an accurate representation of like the history of people and their relationship with this idea of God. And then they do these atrocities and they participate in this kind of covenant relationship. And then God has to come incarnate to kind of show people through Jesus that this is the appropriate way to live.
Well, how do I know that? How do I know that Jesus? Like, if like either the Bible, like if I'm going to believe Jesus even existed, I would have to believe that the actions engaged in the Bible are an accurate portrayal of Christian history, right? You can't believe in Jesus, but also not believe in the Old Testament, because the Old Testament's prophecies are what makes Jesus the Messiah.
Well, the prophecies is kind of like a misinterpretation of prophecies, because the thing is that the Jewish people were seeing what was working for them as a society, right? And they were writing these things down. And the prophets were not people who were saying, not all the prophets were people who were saying, like, this specific thing is going to happen. And then when it happened, their prophecies were revealed. They were just people who were saying, like, hey, like, for example, with like David, hey, David, if you're going to participate in this owning of other people and think that you can steal a woman from another person by sending him off to war, then the same thing is going to happen to you, because you're creating a society that's evil. And so their prophecies then were considered true because their evil was put out into the world and created a society that then was falling apart.
So I'm going to disagree with this a little bit. Like, Moses was a prophet.
Okay.
Moses, do you believe Moses spoke to God in order to get the laws of the Israel nation?
I think that Moses was seeing a group of people and was trying to lead them, and realizing that he had such a big group of 12 tribes of people that he was trying to lead, who all came from slavery, who all came from not growing up being able to think for themselves.
Then here's the problem, Peter. Here's the problem we run into. Why then, if this is what we're going to believe based on the text, why should I believe anything in the New Testament either? If we're just saying the Bible is just written by man, and it's just man conforming these ideals and stories so that people will believe them, so that they can, like, sort of, I guess, influence society at the time, I would believe the same thing about the New Testament. In which case, I would just say that there's nothing to talk about, because it's clear from this stance that the Christian God is just made up.
Well, I don't think I'm saying that it's made up. What I'm saying is that
it can only be like, or even if it's not made up, even if we're saying it's not made up, there's no way to know the actions or will of God. It's an unknowable quantity, because the religious text that tells us these things isn't accurate. So if that's the case, there's nothing the only thing we can debate on is whether or not we believe God has the omni properties, and then go from there. But we can't debate anything from the actual Bible, because the Bible isn't accurate. The Bible's not true.
I thought we were debating whether or not the Christian God is good or evil.
Yes, and the way I would describe him the way I would talk about him being evil is looking at the actions he's done. Right? Flooding the earth and killing every person. That's an evil action. If God didn't do that, if that was just a story that people saw their area flooding, and then they wrote stories about floods, then there's no leg to stand on here. Like, there's nothing we can talk about, because he didn't do any of this. Now, if you believe God has the omni properties, I can make an argument based on that. But that would be the only other way to go to do the argument, because God's actions are an unknowable quantity. Right.
Well, and I think that like, for example, going back to the flood and saying, like, the action of the flood is evil, is to say, like, that it wasn't a force of nature, right? Like, it was not a direct response to a natural response to people either possibly having a poor relationship with the earth, and then the earth was basically taking care of itself.
Well, if we're saying the flood, if the flood were to be true as portrayed in the Bible, it would be an action taken by God because he regretted making people and he wanted to get rid of them all.
Right. Well, and I think that the idea is that people are saying that the forces of nature, like Mother Earth, right? Like the personification of Mother Earth is basically
I wouldn't personify Mother Earth. I think personifying Earth is kind of silly. We're like, the earth didn't do the flood in the Bible. God did. God made the flood happen. Had God not willed the flood wouldn't have come.
Right, but that's the whole point of people's spirituality and faith, is that they don't believe that forces of nature, they believe that they can have a relationship with forces of nature.
Well, that's not Christianity then. In which case, believe what you want to believe. No, it isn't.
How's that not Christianity?
Christianity is the belief in Christ as the Son of God and the Messiah,
Right.
who is divine, who died for our sins. It's believing that this thing happened. Now you're talking about some other type of spirituality.
Well, no, and it's not believing that Jesus died for our sins. It's believing that God became incarnate and lived a perfect life that led to death. And
Yes,
it's a
but if the
fulfillment
Bible is
of
just
more.
written by people, I have no if the Bible is just written by people and it's not divinely inspired word, I have no reason to believe those stories. What's happening
Why
is
not?
you're because how do you know which stories in the Bible are true and which ones aren't?
By having your own personal relationship with God and dwelling in
Then it's all subjective.
meditation and prayer.
What is true in the
Right.
Bible is all subjective.
That's the idea of faith in a postmodernity world, is realizing that there is no
You can't
universal
believe that you have a religious worldview that is objective when the way you get to it is subjective.
I don't believe in an objective religious worldview. I believe in a subjective worldview.
Then that's not Christianity, Peter.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Where in the Bible does it say that there's only one way to have a relationship with your faith?
The Bible doesn't say there's only one way to have a relationship with the faith. The Bible says that every word in the Bible is divinely inspired word of God and all true. If you don't believe that, that is subjective, and you are not believing what the book actually tells you.
Where does it say that?
It says all scripture is God-breathed.
Where does it say that? Sorry.
Sure, I'll pull up the exact verse. 2 Timothy. All scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness.
But of course, he's writing that before the Bible's even been put together.
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? How can he be talking about a Bible if the Bible's not even been put together?
I don't understand how Christians do this. Let me just ask you just point blank simple. What is your proof that Jesus Christ was a divine being?
I have no proof.
Great. What proof do you believe when the Bible talks about the things Jesus said?
Yes.
Do you think the Bible quotes Jesus accurately? So why do you think the Gospels are quoting him accurately, but the Old Testament is not quoting Moses accurately?
Well, I do think that the Old Testament is quoting Moses accurately, but I don't believe Moses is God.
So when Moses says, I spoke to God, and God gave me these commandments for how we should morally live our lives, you believe he was speaking accurately and he was quoted accurately. So then you believe Moses did speak to God and give commandments that God gave based on what we should do morally as people.
I believe that Moses spoke to God in the same way that people today think they're speaking to God.
Then you don't believe Moses was quoted accurately in the Bible.
I don't believe Moses knew everything. I think Moses was handed
the Bible doesn't state Moses
knows
everything.
Answer.
The Bible states that Moses told people he spoke directly to God. God spoke to him and gave him a list of rules. That is not the way people currently engage in speaking to God. So either he was quoted accurately or he wasn't. It can't be both.
Well, then I guess I would think maybe he wasn't quoted accurately.
Okay, so why should I believe that Jesus was quoted accurately and that Moses was not?
I guess I don't know. I guess because for me personally, it's based on what resonates with my heart.
Yes, but that's just cherry picking. You have an entire book that says this is the breadth of our religion, and you go, well, I'm going to cherry pick just this, and which is fine, like if you want to cherry pick. But when we then have a conversation about like what we do with Jesus, what we do with this, what we do, like if we have a conversation on that, you can't say, well, I believe Jesus says this, and so we like no, because you don't have any reason to believe any of the stuff Jesus said more than any of the stuff the other people said.
Yeah, well, and I think that the cherry picking thing is the thing that we as a species, as a people, are trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to get away from saying is a bad thing, because we cherry pick everything. We cherry pick our politics. We cherry pick because we're not 100% aligned with the general belief of anything. And that's like the whole point of like living life and having a relationship with and identifying with something is understanding like, what do I agree with? What do I not agree with? What resonates with me? What doesn't resonate with me? And that's where, are you a person, Christians, in my opinion, are you a Christian who resonates with things in the Bible that are about justice, about peace, about taking care
What would
of the
be your
poor,
reason?
about
What would be
taking
your
care of
reason
people?
for? What would be your reason for believing the Bible over like Buddhism, which talks about primarily the same things? It's again, your what it typically is you are somebody who's raised in a culture that primarily believes this thing, so you primarily believe this thing, even though
Yeah,
you have no reason
true.
to. There's no actual reason to believe in it. It's just, this is how I was raised. When you can believe all the same
Exactly.
stuff the Bible teaches without believing in God and without believing in Jesus. So there's
Yeah, I mean,
fundamentally no
people do
reason
that.
for you to be Christian.
There is no reason for me to be Christian other than like in the society that I grow into, it is where my community is. It's what I grew up in. It's the language I speak. And like people who grow up in Buddhism, there are so many great things about Buddhism. Buddhism is such a great enlightening thing for your own personal relationship with yourself and detachment from earthly things. Same with Taoism, same with Hinduism, same with
We out here
Islam.
belief
I mean, there
maxing,
is
bro.
no reason to choose these things other than this is the community that you grow up in. This is the language that you speak.
Yeah, homie, that's very similar to a cult, my G.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between a cult and a religious group, though, is that a cult tries and keeps you in this one specific little thing. And if you are in a religious group that is doing that to you and saying, like, you can't be a part of this religious group unless you follow this, and this, then that is a cult. But luckily, I don't belong to a faith congregation that's like that. My faith congregation is very much so one that says, like, you should be using your own discernment. You should be using faith. You should be using history and all these things, all the tools that God has given us to be able to come to a good understanding of things.
Your discernment, in my humblest of opinions, your discernment should lead you away from believing things that you have no proof for, and you have no evidence for. But there's really not much we can debate about here, Peter, because you don't believe the texts of your own religion.
Well, I believe that the people who wrote them wrote them with the
Okay, here,
best of
wait.
intention.
I actually disagree with that. I will actually, let me, there probably is a way I can do this. Do you believe God is an all-powerful being?
I think that is going to pigeonhole me somehow, and I don't know how to answer that question.
Answer it with whether you believe it's true or not. Can God do all things, or can he not?
You see how that's a fallacy question, because that's
It's
like
not.
saying, like, if God is an all-powerful being, then can God create something that God can't lift? That's simplifying something that,
We can have the
fallacy.
conversation of God being all powerful, but he still has to utilize his power in a logical way, right? Logic
Cool.
breaking of the all powerful. It doesn't. We don't have to get into that, but that still would say he's this all powerful being who can do all, right? He can do all within the realms of what is logically possible, right?
Sure.
Great.
I can
Do
agree
you
with that.
believe that Jesus was sent as Son of God, and because of Jesus' sacrifice, sin was forgiven, and we can all now ascend to heaven?
Jesus was kind of atonement theology, and I don't know if I really believe in atonement theology.
Okay,
It's more that
Jesus? Who was Jesus to you? You believe in Jesus.
Jesus is
You have faith
yes,
and worship
Jesus
Jesus. Who was Jesus?
Jesus was God incarnate.
And what was the point of Jesus' sacrifice?
Jesus' sacrifice was Jesus' life. Was God coming incarnate, coming to be a human, to exemplify how to live life, to live a perfect, loving life, and not using power and domination to try and bring about some sort of change, but instead,
What about all
change
the people
people's
that did
hearts
that
and lives.
before Jesus?
Awful. I mean, awful.
They were all awful?
Hmm.
The people who lived exemplary lives before Jesus, they were all awful people?
Who lived exemplary lives before Jesus?
Job.
Job did not live an exemplary life.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Job at the end, Job is this person who was living a life that was like following God, and then at the end,
Is
Job
following God
screams
not?
out and yells at God and denies God at the
Why
end.
does Job yell out and deny God?
Because God takes everything away from him.
No, whoa. That's simplifying it. He doesn't just take everything away. What happens to Job's kids?
They die.
What happens to his farm?
It's gone.
Burns down. What happens to all of his animals?
Yeah.
They die.
All
What
gone.
happens to his house?
All gone.
Destroyed. So Job was living an exemplary life, following God, and God punished him for it.
No.
No? What do you call torturing a man and murdering his children? You wouldn't call that a form of punishment?
No. That story is meant to cause a person to think about the fact that God does not reward us for doing good things. God does not punish us for doing bad things. And Jesus
Except
talks
Job
about
was
that.
punished for doing good things.
He was not punished for doing good things.
He was absolutely punished. He was tortured. He was literally tortured. And God wanted him to worship his torturer. That's fucked up. If I strapped you in a chair and I hooked like a car battery up to your testicles and flipped the switch, and at the end of it I was like, now don't you love me? It'd be kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that that's the message of Job.
In the story of Job, Satan comes to God. God says, go and you can do anything you want to Job, and I bet you he will still love me. It's a bet. God tortures Job to win a bet. It's not to teach Job a lesson. Job didn't have any lessons to learn. Job was doing everything he was supposed to do. Everything God wanted him to do and claimed he wants us to do. He was living an exemplary life, fully devoted to the Lord. He was not selfish. He was not living life selfishly. He placed his entire devotion to God. And God fucked with his life to win a bet.
Job is a real person. I don't think Job is a real person.
Then why should I believe Jesus is a real person?
I don't think you have to believe Jesus is a real person.
Why do you? Job's not real, but Jesus is?
Well,
why is it that Jesus, who lived his life exemplary, got fucking tortured? Couldn't God have done the whole Jesus thing without the torture?
I don't think so, because I think like Plato kind of explains that in his philosophy, which is that, for us to understand what true good is, true good can't be something that is rewarded for being good, right? Because then you're not doing it for the sake of goodness, you're doing it for the sake of a reward. And so Plato says that
that's down to someone's intention. That's down to intention.
Right.
Plato doesn't know your intention. If your intention is not to be rewarded, whether you're rewarded or not doesn't matter.
I think Plato talks about.
Plato was also a flaming
I can't remember,
racist,
it's been
by the
so
way.
long. Yeah,
So I don't put a
everyone
lot
at
of
that time
stock
was
into it.
racist.
I don't put a lot of stock into what he said.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it would have just been easier if God was just like, okay, you have to live your life this way, instead of being like, okay, I'm going to become man and then let you torture and kill me. Because that didn't even work. Humans are just as, if not more, fucked up than when Jesus was around. We created the atom bomb, for God's sakes.
Yeah, well, and I think that wasn't the point. I think the point wasn't to change all of humanity.
Then what was the point?
I think the point is, how do you as an individual relate to the idea of a God that would become incarnate and become a human and give themselves in perfect love to.
So the whole
to
reason
humanity.
God did it was so that people would read the story and take away from the story. He didn't need to do it then. He could have just written the story. It could have just been a fable.
But see, that's the problem with Christians today, I think, and with this whole idea that the Bible is the most important part of Christianity, is because it's not about the story. And just as I can't understand the plight of people suffering in the world just by like watching the news, right? Like,
what?
I have to go out there and
Yes, you can.
experience it myself.
I mean, if you have empathy, you can. Right? What?
I can claim to say, oh, I understand how people feel or what they're going through, but unless I'm like there on boots on the ground with people, I don't actually understand what's going on in their lives.
Peter, that's just basic empathy. You don't need to physically be next to a person to understand. Like, I can watch a documentary of someone who's gone through some really fucked up shit and empathize with them about that fucked up shit without ever having been next to them or physically witness this.
Not to the same degree, though.
But you can do that with Jesus?
No, I can't. No, and that's why I think that's the whole point of like a Christian life style, and the point of trying to get out of the institution of religion is saying, like, if you live a life like Jesus, then you understand what it means to be a human being that puts good above everything else, puts good above reward, puts good above being right, puts good above these things. It's about.
But again, we already had that story. We already had that story. It was Job. And people have been reading the story of Job for thousands of years. But Peter, we're out of time. I got to move on to the next person.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the debate. I love watching your show.
No problem. That was Trinity, who paid me to move on. Problem with Christianity is the mental gymnastics they have to do to justify their beliefs. I'm out of here. And then Lakesha, thank you for the Cash App as well. Said, my husband can't stop watching your show. Tell your husband I said, what's up? I'll never understand. Oh, wait, that's wrong. All right. Thankfully, we have some calls that are different. So we're going to take some different calls. Gotta stay hydrated. Coming up next is Oscar. Oscar is calling to debate topic number 5, MAGA being uneducated. Oscar, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
I am 26 and I am he, him.
Okay, what year were you born?
I was born 1995, I think.
Nope. Good try though. $1995, brother. 26. It's 2026. That was the easiest math you could have possibly done. Bro, if I've ever asked somebody what year they were born and they go, and I think. And I think is crazy. All right. Next up, calling in is Roland, who's calling in from Scotland. Roland is calling to talk about systemic racism and white privilege. Roland, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hey, it's 32 and I'm a man.
Okay, it's not the question I asked. I asked, what are your pronouns?
Oh, so he.
There we go.
So,
all right, Roland, I believe systemic racism and white privilege exists and exists basically everywhere. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
Yeah, I do. So, what does the word privilege actually mean?
What does the word privilege actually mean?
Yeah. What does it mean?
You don't know what the word privilege means?
I want to know if you know what it means.
Sure. Open up a dictionary, go to the letter P, find the word privilege, and then whatever it says in there is what I mean by the word privilege.
Yeah, so I did that, and it said a right or immunity. That's like the Merriam-Webster definition. So it explicitly means rights. It means that there are certain rights that white people have that others don't. So you're saying white privilege exists everywhere.
So I don't know if you purposely miscategorize the Merriam-Webster definition. Did you do that on purpose?
No. It says a right. It says a right or an immunity.
Did you read the whole definition?
Yeah, I did.
I don't think you did.
I also looked up where privilege comes from, and it means a private law. That's literally the definition.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you did.
I did. I looked it up, and it said.
So you're telling? Okay, Greg. What was the website for Merriam-Webster that you got it from? Be specific.
Merriam-Webster is a website.
Okay, so you just got it off the regular Merriam-Webster website.
Yeah.
Great, and you're saying the definition is what specifically?
There's a right or an immunity. Wait, I just took a photo. One moment.
Okay, well, I'm on Merriam-Webster right now. Chat can see it, and that's definitely not all it says. So were you purposely misquoting the definition, or were you hoping I wouldn't double check on you?
It literally says a right or an immunity. That's literally the definition.
And then what does it continue to say?
Let me just go. One moment.
Did you?
You still didn't define it though when I asked you.
Because I don't have to.
You do if you're saying that
I don't.
Whites have. Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
If you're gonna say that whites have white privilege, you need to be able to define what privilege is. Well, then your argument collapses.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Does not.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
A right, exemption, or immunity. That's the definition.
It's not.
So which definition are you using?
Continue reading for me. Can you continue reading?
A right, exception, or immunity granted as a particular benefit, advantage, or favor. So
there you go. Okay. So it could be a right, an exemption, or an immunity granted as a particular benefit, advantage, or favor. Correct?
Yeah. So what are white people immune to? What are white people?
Oh, okay. So just making sure, just real quick. When I asked you for the full definition, you didn't give it in, correct?
I didn't have my. I
You
didn't have
didn't give the
internet open
full.
at the
You
time.
didn't give the full definition, correct?
You didn't give a definition at all, bro.
I
You
said
didn't give a
whatever.
definition.
I said whatever the dictionary says is the definition I go by. You didn't give
But
a
you're
full
not, though.
definition, correct?
I just did.
Correct. You didn't give a full definition.
I just
Correct.
gave the definition.
Correct. You did
Correct.
not
I
give a
gave
full
the
definition. Correct. Great. I'm gonna put you on mute for 1 second. Let's find out, chat. Let's find out. It could be. It might not be. Let's find out. Give me a second. Let's see. I just wanna double check. Let's find out. It might be, it might not be, but I wanna double check for you, chat. I wanna just double check, you know? Let's just confirm something real quick. Talking about MAGA being fascist and the claim per race, be doing race equality. If ICE, your dodge, no, we weren't. No, we weren't. We were talking.
Not dodging the question. We were talking about affirmative
You are.
action, then we got.
You thought you could get away with it, didn't you, Martin? Didn't you?
Wait, what?
You thought you could get away with it, didn't you?
You mean
You really
cooking in a
did.
debate?
You really did. You thought you'd get away with it. See ya. Cooking you. Cooking being I'm going to be disingenuous, and that means I'm cooking. Get the fuck out of here, ugly ass. Bitch, you thought. You really thought. But it didn't work for you. This is the type of disingenuousness that is the reason Martin got permanently booted from the call-in show. Because he's disingenuous. I said I'll use whatever definition the dictionary gives. And he had to misquote the dictionary in order to try to win. Martin is not good at this, bro. You having these meaningless conversations, what are you bringing to the table? Your mom. That's what I'm bringing to the table. Your mom. I don't think Martin understands consent, personally. So if I were you and I was a woman, I would stay away from Martin. Let's take the next call. Okay, let's take the next call. Coming up next is Rodney. Rodney is calling about topic number 4, gender-affirming care for minors. Rodney, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
30 and he, him.
I'm sorry, Rodney. I'm hearing a bit of background noise. Are you driving currently?
Oh, no, I'm sitting in a car but not driving. See, here, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. Now, Rodney, you're calling about gender-affirming care. I do believe minors should have access to gender-affirming care. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
I do not agree. The reason I don't agree is even though I know some procedures and medications will need a parent's approval, I mean, it's still, the whole process is started off and requested by the child. I mean, if they're a minor, even if they're 16, 17, I still consider them a child. You know, their brains aren't going to be developed until I think about 20 if they're women, or 25 if they're men. I don't think they should have the capacity to change their brain chemistry, change the way that their body works, really change anything about their body, their nervous system, before their brains are developed. You know, they may think that they want it. It's the same reason why I don't think minors should be allowed to have tattoos, even with parents' approval. Their brains aren't fully developed. You know, they haven't been alive long enough. They don't have the wisdom needed to make these decisions that are going to affect them for the next 60 years or 70 years or 80 years.
All right. So, Rodney, to respond to what you said, there are two things I mainly want to respond to. One, you said the process is requested by a child. My response to that is just, so what? Like, that doesn't, why would that matter? Any medical service is technically, the process is started by a child. If the child is saying, like, I don't feel good, like if my child has depression, that process is started by the child telling me that they're depressed, right? It doesn't mean that they shouldn't get antidepressants. The second is, you said they may think they want this and that this is, you know, they're not developed enough for none of this. But my simple question to that would be, what is the regret rate currently?
I'm actually not aware. Would you be able to enlighten me? I don't mean to be like the last guy that kept asking you for definitions for no reason. I'm just genuinely curious because I don't know.
Yeah, sure. The regret rate is 3%.
Really?
Yep. So when we look at at even minors who are receiving gender affirming care, they tend to not regret this decision, and the detransition rate is even lower than the regret rate. So this isn't a thing that they're regretting, and it's not a thing that they're taking back when they get older. Most people are very happy in their transitional care. So because of this, I would say it doesn't really matter if they're not like developed to the point where I think they may need to for something like having sex with an adult or getting a tattoo or driving or voting or something like that, because this is going to be a decision that's made as an individual that only affects the individual. So for that, I'm going to look at it a bit differently. And like I said, because the regret rate's so low, I see no harm here, or at least not a harm that outweighs the benefits.
That is true. I mean, you definitely have a fair and reasonable point. I'm not, I don't want to just argue just for the purpose of arguing. I mean, I'm sure you're only quoting reputable sources, but is there a particular study you have in mind? Like, do you know what the poll size was and what political orientation the organization that conducted them was? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so
I'm sure 3% comes
most of these studies are done by like universities, so they don't really have a tie to any one specific political ideology. Typically, when we're looking at the regret rate, we're getting those numbers from a few places. The transgender survey is a big one. That's going to be our largest database of people that are saying whether or not they're happy in their transition. There are some studies that are going to look at detransition and regret rate. One of the largest ones we have, especially that handles like desistance, is going to be from specifically, it is this one. And I'll just say them off, and then you can go back in the live later and like pull the titles if you want to. So if you don't want to like write them down now. It's called Re-Identification with Birth Registered Sex in a Western Australian Pediatric Gender Clinic Cohort. And what that one shows us is that only 1% of youth who are prescribed puberty blockers even desist. So that's like 1% of a 1% of a 1%, right? We have larger studies, like we have a 50-year long study that just talks about the regret of bottom surgery, and that shows that the total regret rate of bottom surgery sits at about 2.2%. Regret rate, there's one that looked at there's this one which I like, which is called Regret After Gender Affirmation Surgery, a Systemic Review and Meta-Analysis of Prevalence, which analyzed 27 studies. Like, it's a meta-analysis, so it looked at 27 studies, which encompassed 7,928 people, and found that the total regret rate when combined with all these studies was about 1%. So everything that we see on regret rate tends to tell us the same thing, between 1 to 3%. 3% being on the high end, 1% being on the low end.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. Upon looking into it further, it does show that you're correct. Just as a summary off of Google, it says 4% or less is the regret rate for the gender affirming care. And it even looks like, so there's a 14 to 21% regret rate for non-gender affirming pediatric surgical interventions. So that's substantially lower than other invasive procedures that don't even reference gender. So I mean, you're kind of educating me on this in real time. So that is a very good point. I mean, I really can't dismantle the argument of a low regret rate. I mean, you're right. It does seem that most of the people that go through those procedures don't end up regretting it and seem to be happy with it. I do think, just still as my opinion, that they should at least wait until they are 18 to be able to make those decisions.
If they're happy with this care, if they're not regretting this care, and if this care is providing them better outcomes, why would we say they should wait?
My main concern for this is and again, this may just be because I'm not as educated as I thought I was on the topic, and I'm completely fine admitting that. But I'm going to assume that there are some, neurological brain function repercussions of having this done or taking these, body and mind altering hormones when they are in the process of puberty or even before puberty, as opposed to after puberty. Taking these at 13 to 18 versus taking them at 18 to 25. I mean, I'm sure there are long-term, I don't know if it's detrimental to their cognitive abilities. I don't know if it is beneficial.
The answer to this question, right, as something you don't know, I'll give you the answer. It's no. There are no long-term neurological brain functioning issues. We have long-term studies that analyze this. It's not a thing that happens.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that sounds great. Yeah. I mean, you may have changed my opinion on the topic. I do appreciate it. Again, I wasn't here just for the point of arguing. I did want a good discussion, and you gave me that. So thank you. I mean, you have a very good point. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
All right. Cool. No problem.
Bye.
We love somebody who's receptive up here. There's no way Bad is calling again, dude. There's no way. There's no way Bad is calling. There's no way. Bro, I just posted a part of one of his videos today, and it's blowing up on Instagram. What is this man's problem? Why is he obsessed? He's not going to talk if he doesn't give me his pronouns. That's that whole last conversation I had with him happened the way it did because he did not give pronouns. He just started spouting off. Like, damn well he's not going to be able to have a conversation on the actual topic. I have an idea. Hold on. I have an idea. Hold on. This is going to be possibly a little complicated. Let me see if I can do it. I have an idea. I need. Okay. This. Okay. Okay. Just bear with me, chat. Because if this works, this will be really funny. Okay. Did I do this wrong again? This. Oh, well, I guess I already have that. That was actually kind of stupid of me. Oh, wait. I'm wait. Yeah, no, wait. I was kind of dumb. Actually, let me do it this way. Wait. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. This works. This works. Okay. Okay, this works. I got to figure it out. You guys ready? You guys ready for this shit? Coming up to the show is Bad. Bad is calling in for the who knows what time. Bad, before you say a word, before you say a singular word, we have a new way we're going to be running this today with you. Bad. Okay? Here's the rules here, Bad. You are going to be okay? You are going to be what is going on here? You're going to be given 10 minutes. I'm also given 10 minutes. At the if at the end of that conversation, like at the end of the 10 minutes, you will have no more time to speak. You understand? That
Yeah, I
making
guess.
sense to you? All right, good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. Give me 1 second. I got to make sure this is.
And then now,
Hold
what
on,
happens?
Bad. Hold on, Bad. I just got to fix something really quick. I got to fix something real quick. Bad, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, Bad. Just letting you know, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, because it's your show. You can disrespect whatever the hell you want. Come
Bad,
on, man.
the time is going. You're wasting your time, Bad. Just hold on. You're wasting your time. Every time you talk, you waste your time. Don't talk.
Yeah,
I don't want you to lose. I don't want you to lose your time. I don't want you to lose your time,
I don't give a
Bad.
fuck about my time. I don't need 10 minutes.
I don't want you to waste your time. Before we begin, Bad, I need your pronouns.
You know I don't have pronouns, bro. And that's disrespectful for you to keep doing that with me when you know I don't do that.
You don't have pronouns. So if
talk
somebody
about-
called you,
No.
if somebody called you she, her, would you be upset? If they said, "This is my friend Bad, she's my baddie, bestie," would you be upset about that?
No, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't entertain that type of bullshit when it comes from you forcing it upon somebody. Now it's forced.
Oh, now it's forced.
You want people to respect you for your pronouns and say, "Hey, my name is Jovan. I identify as she, her, he, suicide. And will you please respect my pronouns?" But somebody tell you, "No, I don't have pronouns. I don't deal with that dumb shit." Hey, well, I can't have you on my show. This is my show. This is my shit. A two-way street don't work with you. You on a one-way street, right up your booty hole street. You know, that's not fair to people. And you can sit there and try to justify yourself, but you are the minority in this world. Fact of the matter, that's what it is. You're the minority in this world.
Bad, you recognize that it's my show, right? So if I set rules for my show, you have to follow those rules. It's not your show. It's mine.
Yeah, but when somebody sits there and talks to you about something and you have no regard for that person or anything else, it goes a long way to show what kind of character you have as a man.
Yeah, I disregard what you say because you don't follow the rules.
What, your rules? Who are you? Who are you to dictate somebody else's life? And you talk about no king's protest. You acting like a king right now, dude. Is you a king?
Bad. It's my
Is you
show.
A god? Who did you create?
Okay. Yeah,
right,
it's my show.
Yeah, but still, you ask people to call in and debate, not call in and tell me your transgenderism identity, right or wrong.
Are you telling me you're trans, Bad? So you just don't want to tell me your trans identity?
No, it's not that. You're saying call in and debate. Anyways, check it out. Why you guys, the human body is a miraculous machine built by this universe. So you could do all the transgenderism surgeries you want, and that body will survive it. You could get in a horrific car accident and lose an arm or a leg. You could be cut off from your waist down and still be able to possess life. This body we have is miraculous. It is an instrument. It is a machine. This thing is so wonderful. We have no idea its true capable powers. But what we do know is that people running around, like if you had kids, you have kids, Jovan?
Yeah,
You have kids.
Bad. What are your pronouns?
How many kids? How many kids do you have, Jovan?
Yeah, what are your pronouns?
I don't have pronouns. Not like you. I don't.
Okay, well, my pronouns are he, him. So if you don't have pronouns like me, or does that mean your pronouns are she, her, they, them? Since they're not like mine?
I don't use pronouns as a gender. I use it to speak to people so we don't sound like morons. As quote from your girl Katie, we need pronouns to speak to each other or else we sound like morons. Well, use it to speak to me, not to tell me what kind of gender-affirming care you want for your children or what kind of gender you prefer as a pronoun. You sound like a moron when you say, hey, my name's Jovan transgenderism, and I'm a he, him, he, she, they, them, suicide. You know what you're doing? You said you had children. Do you sit there and say goo goo gaga with your children and say, hi, are you a he, him, or are you a she, her, or are you a they, them? What do you like when you speak to me in that language? Do you do that with your children, dude? Because if you do, you're an idiot. That's why children have a suicide rate 47 times growing. And you sit there and talk about, well, gender-affirming care never hurt nobody. It's not medically in this. Well, because the body is a miraculous machine. That's why it doesn't affect nothing. You can have all the surgeries you want and you'll be fine. We're a machine. But what we do have is children we're talking about. The future of our generations to come. Our children, your children, my children, all of our children. And I don't want somebody sitting there with porno books in my children's schools. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to have your children go to school at 6, 7 years old and start reading about how little Johnny took little Jimmy underneath the bleachers and cracked his butt cheeks wide open, then you go ahead and do that. But I don't think that's right, and I don't care. It's a moral thing. This is a moral thing. You're 47% to what? 53? Look, let me see what the hell I was looking at. Yeah, suicide statistics, because you're no longer in the realm of gender-affirming care hurts children or hurts people because there's no death rate behind it and there's no evidence. It's so low, it's insignificant. What about their suicide rate? What about these people like these chicks were coming out the past couple years talking about 2 + 2 is 5, and if you say it's 4, it could be racist. That's what you guys are leading up to too. You guys are leading up to transgender furries, talk about I'm a squirrel trying to get in there, and I own 2 litter boxes, one for the front of my house and one for the back of my house. When I got to go to the bathroom, my brand of litter box is Jovan transgenderism because it's $9.99, $95. I'm saying right now, and my 81 version of Katie is in the back, and we got color coordinations behind it, and we pissy shit these litter boxes because we don't want to use toilets like normal persons because we furries and la la la, and you commit suicide on people. You fucking up these people's heads so much that once they realize 2 + 2 is not 5, their mental state just goes out the window, man. They're suicidal. They want to lash out and kill people. You don't know what type of state these people are in because you treated them wrong. You taught them wrong. You want to use pronouns to speak to me. Hold on, I got 5 minutes, brother. You want to talk to me man to man. Talk to me man to man.
For 5 minutes. I also get to talk. I also have 10 minutes to speak. So real quick, Bad, you said that we use pronouns to know how to speak to each other and have conversations. So I agree. So what are your pronouns so I can speak to you and have a conversation?
My pronouns are inside my fucking conversation with you. They are not as a part of my identity.
I never asked you about your identity.
You did. Pronouns are part of identity.
I just asked what your pronouns are. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're a woman. All I asked is, let me rephrase it differently, Bad. I have a live chat right now between Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. There's well over 1,000 people watching you right now. Almost 1,500 people watching you. Should they call you he, she, they, or something else?
They can call me Bad because that's my name.
I thought you didn't want people to sound like cavemen. You don't think it would make them sound like cavemen to say, this is Bad. Bad goes to the store. When Bad is at store, Bad buys fruit. Bad takes fruit. Bad take fruit home. Bad eat fruit. You don't think that makes them sound like cavemen? You said that we don't want to sound like cavemen. So I'll ask you again. There's a live chat of almost 1,500 people watching you right now. Should they call you he, she, they, or something else?
See, you guys, that's your problems. You guys are attaching it to identity, and you guys sound like morons. You know I'm a man.
Should they call you he,
you sitting here
she,
talking to me.
they, or something else?
When it comes to my gender, call me by my name.
Should
You
they
know
call you
what
he,
my voice sounds
she,
like.
they, or something else? You sound like plenty of women I've met, so that's why I'm asking. He, she, they, or something else?
Yeah, you just keep reverse psychologing your 1,000 viewers into believing this identity, and you're screwing your nation over. You're turning
she,
traitor against your
they,
country.
or something else.
Why don't you stay on topic?
Dad, when you call into the show, you are to follow the rules of the show. It's not my fault you don't have house training.
Yeah, then hang
so
up
should they
on
call
me.
you
Hang
he,
up on me, because you're the
they,
minority here,
or something
dude.
else?
Hey, you're the minority. Just like the Democrats fought for the black rights in the Civil War era, they're fighting for your rights right now. And where did it get black people from the Civil Rights era to now? Is the same position you're going to have as a he, him, they, them, she, her, suicide, furry, transgenderism, fuck. Yeah, you're going to get the same
Should
treatment
they call you
because
he,
they're going to move on
she,
to the...
they, or something else?
Should they call you she, her, they, them? You know what? How about we do a remix of your guys' garbage? See how stupid you guys sound. And then we'll do a music video with grown-ass men in drag queen outfits twerking in front of pre-kindergarten teachers. And then we'll have transgenderism ideology people like you saying, bloop, and pointing your finger at your sons and daughters' noses saying, do you identify as a he, him, they, them, she, her, suicide? What are you? And then we'll see how stupid that music video is.
Should they call you he, she, they, or something else?
Should we call you he, she, they, them? You are mentally ill, dude. If you cannot get past it, you were the one that was indoctrinated since pre-kindergarten. And now that you're a grown-ass adult, it's stuck in your head that you need these pronouns. You're stuck. You cannot function without it. And one day when you get in the real world and these platforms go away with whatever, and this new generation comes out, and they say, nah, you're so 2020, you're so whatever, and this has been going around for so long, you're outdated. You don't even own a litter box to shit and piss in, dude. Somebody come get your aunt. You're gonna be in the same boat. You're gonna turn suicidal, dude, because you ain't gonna be able to function in life. You're not gonna have a 9-to-5 job. You ain't gonna have a normal life because you're gonna go around talking about, well, this is my show. Well, this is not your show. This is a work environment. No, this is my show, and I'm a he, him, they, them, suicide, and whatever the hell else. And you just gonna be stuck. You gonna be suicidal. They indoctrinated you since you were pre-kindergarten. How about this, Jovan, transgenderism? How about you take a DNA test with your mother and father and see if they're biologically your mother and father? Because CPS takes kids from their parents daily across the United States. And these people that they're giving these children to, how do we know you were taken by a loving mother and father and given to these people? And these people that raised you to be mentally ill with this transgender euphoria. So I don't know who I am. Because when you were in kindergarten, they were talking about transgenderism. Doesn't little Katie over there look cute in a dress? Wouldn't you like to look cute in a dress like Katie? Why don't you try this outfit on? And they indoctrinated you. They put it in your head. And now you're stuck in your head.
You have 50 seconds left to actually engage in the debate. Should they call you he, she, they, or something else?
Now, why don't you just so I wasn't debating with you? I wasn't rapping with you? We have
not gotten to the debate yet because you refuse to follow the rules of the show. So as soon as you follow the rules of the show, we can get to the debate.
So everything that I did with you right now was to get me to a gotcha moment, to where you could sit there and air it for your views and your shit. And now that you don't get it, you're not even going to air me. So we did all this for nothing, and your viewers can't even see a second side of everything. Yeah, great,
Well,
Jovan.
Bad, this is a
Great.
live show, so
You-
everyone's heard every word you've said. I don't know what you mean by air it. I don't know if you know how
Yeah,
live
I
shows
doubt
work.
that. From what you just said, I seriously doubt I'll even be aired on here. You know, but honestly, I got a couple seconds left. Do a everybody out there
Should they call
with
you
this gender
he,
euphoria.
she, they, or something else?
They can get a DNA
Oh, there we go.
test with their
There we go.
biological parents.
Chat. Bad finally did it. He finally gave us pronouns. He said they. Chat. Bad is a they them. Bad is they them. We can finally get to the debate. Finally, after 3 calls, Bad, we can get to the debate. This is Bad. Pronouns are they them. Bad. I believe children should be able to receive gender affirming care. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
I disagree because the 2 plus 2 is not racist if you say it's 4. So you could sit there and suicide these kids into sacrificing themselves.
And that was all your time, Bad. Unfortunately, you wasted your 10 minutes yapping and you ran out of time for the actual debate. Thanks for calling. Maybe next time you will follow the rules and you won't run out of time. See you later, Bad. That couldn't have gone better if I had paid the motherfucker to call in. Like, holy shit, dude. Mans is certifiable. I'm gonna send Katie a message real quick. Hey, Bad was just on my stream and name dropped you like 10 times. So, looks like you're famous. Oh shit, that was fucking funny. He had 10 minutes to get to the debate. He just refused. There's nothing I can do about that when you refuse to follow the rules. There are rules on this show, and Bad knows the rules, and he didn't follow them. So I don't know what he wanted from me. We have a metric fuck ton of super chat, so let me try to get through those really quickly. Super chat time. Oh, this is a boring voice. What voice is this? Voice mod, why aren't you working? Balthazar said, and the whole world and the whole world has to answer right now just to tell you once again who's bad. Cause I'm bad. I'm bad. I guess the voice mods aren't working, so I guess we're not gonna do them right now. Chase first said 10-minute debate timer doesn't mean you should talk for 10 minutes straight. Yeah, no, it means you only have 10 minutes to speak. And he wasted 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Rat Boy Lululi said these people need to stop confusing their dumbass fantasies and phobias with realities. Have this for dealing with this idiocy. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Zoe Violet, thank you for the super chat. Said Bad is clearly lonely and has nobody to talk to. Honestly, this is sad. A little bit, yeah, but also fuck Bad. Flux Channeler said, I'm trans and have a 9 to 5. That's why I have this $10 to throw to Jovan. Oh shit. Thank you, Flux. Chase Firth again said, what the fuck is with the suicide thing? Somebody in chat was like, we saying all that to get you banned. YouTube doesn't have those rules though. So if that was his thing, then it's not gonna work. Liquidy Shit said it feels wrong to farm Bad's mental illness for clips and content. I disagree because I don't think Bad is mentally ill. I think Bad is a bigot. I don't think Bad is mentally ill. And everybody who says Bad is mentally ill feels a little ableist, right? Some people are just like that. It has somebody who's black who lives in the black community. I know plenty of black people like that. It doesn't mean he's mentally ill. I think it's more likely he doesn't have friends. Casual Cali says, bruh. True. Flux Channeler says, please put I'm a squirrel on your soundboard. Holy shit. I don't even know what's that from? Vampy said, I think he should give you $1 for every pronoun he didn't choose. So fucking true. Badger for Health said, speaking of your mom, this Dem Isaiah Martin got the what is a woman question from Maggie. He said your mom and it broke his 3. Oh yeah, I've seen that clip. Isaiah's pretty chill. 4 video watch said, is this not Martain? And we proved it was. Liquidy shit also we proved it was Martain. Something Wayward said, Jovan, that's the great MAGA Meta's Britain. Yeah, I didn't realize. Well, I realized after a little bit, and then you saw in my face, I was very skeptical, and then I went back and listened. Vampy said, man, I hate when I'm 26 going on 31. This administration has really aged people. M. Corrine, this guy thinks straightforward questions about the Bible are trick questions, likely because the Bible is literally written to trick people. That makes sense. True. We don't have any other callers, so hopefully we'll get some calls while we're doing super chats. Liquid said, Peter, I don't want to answer that question. Jovan, why? Peter, because it's devastating to my case. Oh shit, true. Political Sarah said, for pronoun deniers, claim you have amusia and that you literally can't differentiate between gendered voices. They will feel bad for you and realize some people can't tell gender by voice alone. Possibly. Cheese Mondo said, good grief, Jovan, I needed 5 more minutes with Chris. I was just vaccines away from a full house on my MAGA talking point bingo card. Also, pineapple on pizza is acceptable if it's grilled first. I need to put the bingo back in a thing so you guys can play bingo with the Jovan bingo cards. Liquid Ice, thank you for the super chat. Said a lot of keyboard warriors, not a lot of callers to defend their positions. Are there ever? Katie Pope said, Chris had every Facebook talking point out there, more or less than bad. Frost King said, I'm dumb as hell. I voted for Obama, but not Trump. And that's it. Oh, well, there have been some more. Oh, here we go. Rap Boy Lulo Lie. Got it. Bad said, I'm a squirrel. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you so much. W to all the super chatters. We also got a Venmo from Andrew that said, I listen to you every day and I've learned so much. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Andrew, for the Venmo. What do we think of that timer though? That was fucking hilarious. I need to start implementing that. Anyway, 219-327-8005 if you want to debate. Call-in lines are back open. Well, they've never been closed, so. Call in if you want to debate. And we can still have good conversations about any of these topics, homie. Twitch, if we get to the goal today, I'll do a merch giveaway. That's for Twitch specifically. Leave it to Pete Hegseth to steal a black man's swag. What's that, Leo? I'm trying to see if we get any more calls today. Bad might have been our final. I think Bad needs a psychologist. Yeah. Potentially. It's gonna make a funny ass clip though. But that means that if Bad calls back tomorrow, right? If Bad decides to call back tomorrow, we know his pronouns are they, them. Sorry, I misgendered him. We know that their pronouns are they, them. So they can actually engage in the conversation next time because we know that their pronouns are they, them. Oh, that's right. I did see that Pete Hegseth Pulp Fiction shit. Fucking hilarious. You need someone to make a computer script that automatically buzzes someone for every pronoun they use in a sentence. That would just be hard. Like, how would it be able to differentiate me from them? And then my fucking meds ready yet? Walmart. I'd like to go pick up my goddamn medicine. Estimated ready by 2:30. I mean, technically I can't. The audio is split. It's just I feel like that would be a W to YouTube for the super chats. Twitch, I want to just let you know YouTube is killing y'all on your goals. YouTube basically said, Twitch, no. How's it feel, Twitch? To be the favorite child, but I think a better script would be to have place that 10-minute timer thing on a script where whenever it hears talking from another person, it could somebody make that for me? How hard would that be to do? So it could take an input and output, it could take my mic input and their mic input, and then it can literally count the time down as we talk. Then I would never have to hear from these motherfuckers about I would never have to hear from these motherfuckers ever again about like being overtalked or interrupted too much. Fuzzy, is that something you could figure out how to do? God, I just think that would be fucking kind of cool, right? Vampy, Twitch say W to Vampy. Vampy just got you guys to your goal. So I'll give away merch at the end of stream. I'll do a t-shirt giveaway at the end of stream over on Twitch. So Twitch W to you guys, you get a free t-shirt at the end. Well, somebody's gonna get a free t-shirt. Let's see if Twitch can, and if we get to the goal number 2, I'll also give away a free hoodie. So we'll see if that happens before the call ends. Or before the show ends. Yeah, I better say W to Vampy in the chat. Take that, YouTube is so funny. 219-327-8005. Come on, guys. Sorry. There's like 900 people watching on YouTube and only 400 likes. Get those likes up, chat. Someone come and tell me why the war in Iran is justified. Let's go. I want to know. I want to know. Can you show me? I want to know why the war in Iran is justified. Jovan, no dying on stream. I mean, if I'm gonna die, I would hope that it happens on camera, right? Jovan, Disney adult? What was your first clue? No one likes you. You're a liar. Trump is great. Oh my God. And the hits keep coming, and coming. We'll do the super chats in a little bit. Only people calling right now are calling anonymously, and we don't take anonymous calls. I have to have the ability to ban your number in case you call in and say some racist shit. Jovan, how do you balance being a Disney adult and anti-capitalism / anti-racist? Pretty easily. Jesus died for everyone's sins, including yours. I didn't ask him to, so that's his fault. Should have asked first. Hello, Jovan transgenderism. Would you like software with a GUI or just command terminal? What, for the timer thing? I mean, GUI, right? I just think that'd be so fun. I'd use that in so many debates. But also, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing, you know? So, gotta sin. Damn, YouTube's going crazy with the super chats right now, Twitch. Y'all about to get real upset. I'm gonna read all the super chats after the next call. It's not a sacrifice if you're immortal. So true. If Jesus is God, then he quite literally sacrificed nothing. Now, if Jesus is not God, that's a sacrifice. But if Jesus is God and he can resurrect from the dead, he literally didn't sacrifice shit. That's a good fucking point. Motherfucker took a nap and everybody's talking about he made a sacrifice. All right, we got a couple calls screening right now and we'll get to them, I promise. How do you want to get the software? I don't know. Can't it just be a web page? I mean, I guess it could be a GitHub, but then how do I trust what I'm clicking and downloading? Also, make sure you guys are becoming YouTube channel members. Remember, book club is coming up. Oh, shit. Book club is next week. If you didn't know, next Saturday is book club. This is what we've been reading. Stamped from the Beginning, the definitive history of racist ideas in America. So if you're a member on YouTube or a sub on Twitch, you can join our Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the chat if you want the... It should give you the Discord link, I think. And then you can join us for book club. That is the Iron Giant behind me, yeah. Over there. Yeah. Book club is next week, Saturday the 25th, and we're going to be what was it? We're also going to be watching a documentary that goes along with the book. Oh shit, Fuzzy is working on it right now. It's going to be a website. Fuzzy, fucking goated. That's just going to be so sick. That's a fair point. If God is all powerful, why did he have to become a human to care enough about us to forgive us? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes quite literally zero sense. Who's better movies, Marvel or DC? Marvel. When is the Jovan video game club? I don't know, but if you're a part of the Minecraft server, there is a chest hidden somewhere in the world, in the Minecraft world. If you're part of our members server, that chest has a book in it with a code for a free T-shirt from my merch shop. This is the first time I'm telling people this chest exists. I wanted people to just see if anyone came across it, but I'll let you guys know in case people want to go on the hunt for it. Do you have the Nano Gauntlet? No, I don't like the Nano Gauntlet as much as I like the... I kind of want to upgrade. That's just one that you can get at the Disney parks. It's like $50. I kind of want to get the actual, like, the really good one of the Gauntlet. Sorry if I'm not seeing Instagram chat as much. I don't have Instagram chat pulled up, even though I am... Like, I have the Twitch and YouTube chats pulled up. Yeah, and if nobody finds it, maybe one day I'll make a map, so you guys might be able to find it. But yeah, the One Piece does exist in the server. How do we join Discord on YouTube? If you're a YouTube member, you just if you join my Discord server, you'll be able to. You just link your Discord and your thing, and it goes right through. Tyler, thank you for the Cash App set for Balatro. Is this you telling me to play Balatro? I've never played Balatro. Everybody keeps telling me about it. I haven't played it yet. Coda, thank you for the Venmo. Said, you know who did die for our sins? Louis Serra, the ex-Umbrella researcher. He died so that Ashley and Leon could be cured. So that you all would be alive today. Please take a moment of silence for my husband. That's hilarious. Winnie just posted the Discord link in chat, so go join it. Calls are screening right now. We're waiting to find a call that's actually a debate, so calls are currently being screened. Jesus loves you. I didn't ask him to. So is he a stalker? Is Jesus a stalker, y'all? Big yikes on stalker Jesus. Yikers. Okay, what guys, screeners, we got to get that time down on screening calls, guys. Okay, Pillow, what is going on with this current call? Why is it taking so long? Not the One Piece Israel. That's crazy. Yeah, we need to just like, if it goes over 5 minutes, just drop them, guys. Like, just straight up, if the screening call goes over 5 minutes, just drop them. Okay, hello? Hello? I accidentally closed out of everything. I went to open my task manager to try to reset my voice mod, and it closed everything instead. So let me get everything back up.
You are connected as the host. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Okay. Okay. I should be back now. Okay. That sucked. And did I lose all of the... Yep, I lost the queue of super chats that I queued up. Well, I'm not fucking doing that all again. Okay, I should be back. That was crazy. Okay, we all good? We all good? We're all back? We're back here? We ready to take calls again? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and the multicoder stopped too. Fuck, dude. I'll just get this video off of Twitch. I don't feel like dealing with the nonsense. All right, everything should be back up. That was so annoying of me. All right, let's YouTube got me, Twitch has got me. So let's take the next call. Fuck. My buttons aren't working now, which means I'm going to have to reset Collins, not Collins Studio. I'm going to have to reset. Fuck. Oh, this is annoying. This is annoying. This is really annoying. Buttons, no. Okay, I have one more thing to try. Let me quit. And then let me reload this. Yeah, I guess I can just try to do it all myself really quickly. Okay, give me a second. Where is my... There it is. Okay. Annoying. Coming up next is Finn. Finn is calling to talk about, I guess, topics 2 and 3. Pick one, though. Finn, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Okay, so 30 and him.
Okay, and which of those topics
Hello?
were we talking about today?
I think I want to start with the trans topic, and I would like to bring up something that I have been, checking out on YouTube recently. Because I think like a good example of this would be like an online debate, not really debate, but a kind of discourse that was happening between J.K. Rowling and Emma Stone. And I believe that J.K. Rowling is a feminist who is basically saying that, on a policy level, like trans people just being able to identify to any bathroom may not be a problem for like, like very like developed cities like New York City, for example, but maybe in the middle of nowhere where, like resources are limited, it might be difficult to actually manage these bathrooms and make sure that this is actually happening in a safe way.
What do you mean? Why would the bathrooms need to be managed at all?
Well, because there are dangerous people out there that might want to take advantage of these policies, and that's basically what J.K. Rowling is pointing out.
Do you think that if there's somebody that wants to go into a bathroom and assault somebody, a sign on a door is going to stop them? Do you think they get to the bathroom door, they see the picture of the lady in the dress, and they go, nuts, I'm stuck?
No, I don't think that it's necessarily going to stop them, no.
Okay, so then it's kind of useless.
I don't really see how that's a good point.
Because your claim is that having bathrooms be gendered is going to prevent assault. That's the claim. But if
no, that's not the claim.
Yes, it is. Because you're saying we would need to be able to. You just said we need to be able to basically be able to monitor these bathrooms in case something happens. That something would be assault, would it not?
Well, I mean, I don't think that we have to manage them currently, right? But I think
yes,
that
but you think if we let in trans people, we would, which means you believe there would be an uptick of assault if trans people got in the bathrooms.
Well, it's not something that that I believe, but it's something that's speculated.
Assault from who?
So, well, assault from not even necessarily trans people alone, but possibly people who are not even actually trans, who are just trying to make assault easier for themselves. So it's not like they
how would having to dress up as a woman make assault easier? That would be making assault harder.
Well, if they're able to, be in the woman's bathroom without any issues.
They are able to be in the woman's bathroom now. Plenty of men go into the woman's bathroom for a litany of reasons.
Right. Which are?
Well, for instance, if you have a kid who's a girl and the boys' bathroom is full, if I have a kid who's a girl, I'm taking her into the girl. I'm going to be like, hey, ladies, I'm coming in with my child. because she needs to pee.
Right. I mean,
But
that's
again,
a very, very
right
specific
now,
situation,
if
though.
somebody wanted to put on a dress and pretend to be a cisgender woman and go into the bathroom and assault somebody, what's stopping them? Nothing. The answer is nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, then. So allowing trans people in the bathroom doesn't change anything. It doesn't mitigate assault. It doesn't increase assault. It does none of those. Actually, it would mitigate assault of trans people, but it doesn't increase assault of cisgender people.
Right. Right. And I guess that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna die on that cross. But you know, I could debate about other things on this topic, and my point was that I think that J.K. Rowling has a point, and I think that she is a feminist.
What's the
and
point?
I think that she's
absolutely not a feminist.
attacked.
What is the point? Like, what is the actual cohesive, logical point that she's making?
The point is that on a policy level, this is all very new, and you can't actually foresee some of the consequences that might come from this.
England has
you
had
know, and
gender neutral
it takes-
bathrooms. England has had gender neutral bathrooms forever. They've had shared bathroom spaces. Like public facing, multi-person shared bathroom spaces forever, and they've not seen an increase in an uptick in assaults. So yes, we do actually have the
forever?
information. They've had it
How
for
long is
years.
forever?
How long do you think we would need to wait to see assault happen?
I'm not sure exactly.
What? So let's say
said
we
I'm
do it
not
for a
sure
year and we don't
exactly.
see assault. Is that enough data?
Maybe not.
2
Maybe
years.
not.
Is that enough? Is that enough
maybe
data?
it wouldn't show up statistically for a few years. I don't know.
10 years. Is that enough data?
I mean, yeah, maybe 10 years would be more than enough. I don't know exactly.
So assault numbers
I
that we
wouldn't-
track yearly, you would need to see 10 years of that data. England has had
I didn't say
unisex.
that.
You
I
did.
said maybe that would be more than enough. I don't know.
Okay,
So
well,
those
the
are my
UK
exact
has
words.
had gender neutral bathrooms since the 90s. That's almost 30 years of data.
Oh,
Is that
really?
enough to say, hey, it's very clear that that these spaces, when shared by people, do not create an uptick in assault, especially when we know that assaults in bathrooms are fucking rare to begin with, because most people get assaulted in the home by someone they know.
Right.
You're not getting, it's very rare you're getting randomly assaulted in a bathroom. It usually happens in the home by somebody you know. So it
Okay,
doesn't seem like Rowling is a feminist. It seems like Rowling is using trans panic because she doesn't like trans people. I don't think a real feminist should be making up assault statistics and making claims about assault that are fundamentally untrue.
Is that actually verifiable that she made up claims and made up statistics?
Anytime she makes a claim that trans people, trans women specifically, would be a risk of assault to cis women, yes, she is making something up. Especially when we know that the actual numbers show that trans women are, I think it's 9 times more likely to be assaulted than cisgender women. Yes, these would all be lies.
9 times more likely. Why do you think that is?
Because men assault
I didn't
trans
know
women,
that.
cisgender men assault trans women at a higher rate than they do cis women.
Really?
Yes, because of a few reasons: trans misogyny, the sexualization of trans people, the internalized homophobia, a whole list of reasons.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that totally makes sense, honestly. I mean, they are like, you know, I'm not sitting here saying that they're not a marginalized group. You know.
Yeah, but
That's
you
not
are
what I'm
sitting here
arguing
saying
about.
they should go. You are sitting here making a claim that she has good arguments about where they should go. And we know that when trans women are around cisgender men, they are 9 times more likely to be assaulted. So we're saying, hey, here's a group that isn't at risk, right? Cisgender women are not at risk from transgender women sharing their spaces, but trans women are at risk when they're sharing spaces with cisgender men. That we do have the numbers for.
Right, right. So you're saying that there's no numbers for that. Okay. Well, why don't we move on to something else then? I mean, I think I could debate different points on this topic, because I don't think the bathrooms thing is something that like I'm, you know, super obsessed with in terms of like the whole issue at large with trans stuff in the media
I think
today.
the bathroom issue is a boogeyman. It's something that transphobes like
However,
J.K. Rowling use to stir up conflict that doesn't exist.
Okay, but what about this? You know, what if you have, you know, how old do you think it should be okay for a person to have a sex change? You know, what if you have young adolescents or even like people, I don't know how young it is.
I don't know the
I've
way
heard
you're
claims
using
that,
the phrase sex change, because like, are you talking about strictly bottom surgery? That's reserved for people 18 and up.
right. Is it?
Yes.
In all
That's
states?
why I also think, yes, that's why I also think this is a boogeyman, because it's the medical guidelines dictate 18 and up is the age for bottom surgery. So I think this is another one of these boogeyman that people do, right? Where they're like, oh, well, they're transing the kids and they're giving all these. No, the number of children under the age of 18 who receive bottom surgery is literally statistically insignificant. You're going to find like one or two edge cases. And it's going to be for a litany of reasons. They could have like a very important medical reason they need to get it done sooner. They could have emancipated themselves, so they're legally adults, so they get it done sooner. But the guidelines say it should be done when you're 18.
Okay.
That's my thing. When
Okay.
listening to someone like when J.K. Rowling is your source of knowledge on like are the voice of reason in these things, she is not giving accurate information about what's going on in the world.
Well,
She's
do you think
stirring
that
panic.
they would want to make it younger if they could?
I think there are going to be people. Yeah, sure. There's also people that want. There's also people in the government that want to make it legal for us to marry children, right? Like there are obviously there's going to be extremes on any side, but I don't care about what the extreme of something is. I don't care that there are people like going like, oh, we should take every criminal out back and shoot them, right? Because that's the extreme. I'm going to look at what the medical consensus is on these things and what the guidelines are telling us.
Right. Right. No, I mean, I guess 18. I mean, to me, I think that it should be 21. Honestly,
You would have to hold that. You would have to hold that standard
know?
for literally everything, and we don't do that, right? You don't.
Yeah.
I like should you have to be 21 to own a house or to move away from home or to drive a car or to do all these other things?
No, but I thought it was happening at younger than 18. Honestly, so you know what, you got me there. However, I still feel like I have to do more looking into this on my own to actually see like how rare is this in places like California and stuff, you know, where it's kind of like anything
Bottom
goes.
surgery is so rare, it's not even a number that we track because it would be like almost impossible to track it. Now, top surgery, we have the numbers on, and even that is incredibly rare. That's like 1,000 kids a year that are getting top surgery, right? This is going to be people 15 and up. Bottom surgery is so rare that it's very rarely tracked. And even then, the numbers for top surgery are kind of skewed because they put in male children of gynecomastia on that list, because male children receiving top surgery for gynecomastia is still a version of gender-affirming care. So those are included in that list, skewing those numbers. Like, children aren't having access to the surgical side of intervention as much as people think they are. And my issue that I have, Finn, is when you tell me something like, and this isn't, I'm not picking on you or anything. I'm just like, when you tell me something like, I need to go and research this a little more, everything I'm telling you is just like surface level, base level knowledge if you do one cursory Google search, right? It seems like there's a lot of people who formulate ideas
you're
on
right.
this
And
thing.
I did actually just Google search it, and I see right here on Healthline that it says, you know, exactly what you're saying, that it's rare to be done before the age of 18.
Yeah, so my issue is,
but
why are we
I'm
forming
just wondering
opinions
how rare.
before we've done the research? And again, now you see clearly J.K. Rowling lies. She actively makes things up because she just doesn't like trans people.
I don't exactly know where she lied, or I wasn't actually taking something exactly from what she said. It wasn't actually something that I heard from her.
Here, let me rephrase it. The entirety of the anti-trans gender critical movement makes things up. They make up that children have access to care that they don't. They make up the dangers that exists from the trans community, which doesn't exist. They make up all of these things.
So do you think that
Rowling, you want to know something Rowling claimed? Rowling claims that trans women weren't targeted in the Holocaust, which is just a blatant lie.
Jovan, though, can you honestly tell me that out of hundreds of millions of people that there's no dangerous trans people out there?
There's dangerous everybody.
Like everybody else, right?
There's dangerous cisgender women. So should we make all bad? There are men who rape other men. There are cisgender women who rape other cisgender women. So should we just make every bathroom a single-use stall? Everyone you meet could be a danger. It doesn't matter who they are. So that's why I'm saying it's a useless tool to say, well, we need to create this safe, because this group poses a risk, we need to separate that group from this other group. We literally don't do that in any instance. We don't do that with men and women, period. Right? We do it for bathrooms. I would argue it's probably more for cleanliness than anything else, but we do it for, actually, it's probably more because of fucking moral panic of the early fucking America.
How do you regulate that in high schools, for example, if you have a teenager who all of a sudden has identified as
same way I would regulate it anywhere else.
So it's just up to the person to decide if I want to go in this bathroom and I want to identify as this, then I'm going in the bathroom that I want to.
Yeah, unless they give you a reason not to trust them. Obviously, if someone gives me a reason why I shouldn't trust them, then it's going to be different for that specific person. But if they don't, they won't.
Right. So do you think that we should be, looking to see if we have any reason not to trust any of these people?
No, I'm not starting at an area of distrust. We live in a country that's innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not going to look for a reason to distrust someone. If I look for a reason to distrust any person, I'm going to find it.
Right. What about other things that people are upset about? What about like the medication and people being upset that they're lowering the age on that? Do you think that's an issue, that if there's like incredibly young children, like 8 years old, even like taking these hormone altering medications?
Children at 8 are not taking HRT because children at 8 haven't started puberty yet. This is what I'm talking about.
But if they were,
if they had children at 8 don't go. They can't, because HRT is given for someone to increase their puberty. Let's say I'm taking HRT because I'm a trans girl. You're taking HRT because you're going through puberty and your testosterone is spiking, and you want to offset that with estrogen or whatever other feminizing or masculine hormones you want to put in there. A 8-year-old is not going through puberty, so none of that is happening to them. So HRT is effectively useless unless you want to jumpstart their puberty, which we don't do. The most you're getting at 8 is pubertal suppressants. And even then, it's probably, if you're 8 years old, it's really only going to be used for precocious puberty, which is when you're starting puberty early, because you're outside of the time frame.
So any puberty suppressants. What does that mean?
Pubertal suppressants are a medication that you can take that pauses your puberty. Just pauses it.
But why would an 8-year-old be taking that?
The only reason an 8-year-old is taking that is for precocious puberty. The only reason an 8-year-old is taking precocious puberty is when a child starts puberty early. So instead of starting puberty at like 11 or 12, they're starting puberty like 7 or 8. So we give them pubertal suppressants because we don't think 8-year-olds should be going through the process of puberty because it can be harmful on the body.
Okay, well, I'm just reading an article here of on AP News. The new guidelines include starting medication called puberty blockers in the early stages of puberty, which for girls is around ages 8 to 13. So,
Yes, you can have, but wait. Again, you can start puberty early, right? So if a girl starts puberty at 8, right, probably going to give her pubertal suppressants because she started puberty early. That's not. That's yeah. Of course.
No, it didn't say. It doesn't say early. It just says. It just says that's when it starts for girls. It just says early stages of puberty, which for girls is around ages 8 to 13. So I think that's
What are
just
you
when
reading?
girls
What are you
can
reading
start
this off
puberty.
of? What are you reading this off of?
APnews.com. Trans kids treatments can start younger. New guidelines state by Lindsay Tanner. Published 9 a.m.
Okay. Well, I would
June
look. I
15th,
would look instead of
2022.
that. Look at like the medical side, because to my knowledge, the W path still sets the limit. Well, actually, they don't set the. Let me rephrase that. They don't set a limit because it's useless to do that because everybody goes through puberty at different times. Typically, it's set
No, I
by
think
the
your
developmental
your point
stage. So when
earlier
you
though was
reach,
just that I should look stuff up really quickly, and that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
what I was
that's
trying to
fine.
do.
The point I'm making here is when you reach
And
Tanner stage 2. Tanner stage 2 is the
it was just
part
the
of
first thing
puberty.
that popped up on the Google search when I looked it up.
That's
So
fine. That's fine. Tanner stage 2. When you reach Tanner stage 2, that's typically when you can begin pubertal suppressants, whatever age that is. And that's because you're going. And I think an 8-year-old probably should be put on pubertal suppressants. I don't think an 8-year-old should really be forced to go through puberty. They're still 8. So
what
Tanner
do you mean
stage.
forced? If that's just when people are naturally going through puberty,
Well, you
who's
have to remember.
forcing them
You
to
have to
go
remember
through it?
we go through puberty earlier now than we used to. Like the ages of puberty are lowering because of we eat chemically infused chicken.
Right. So that's what's happening.
It's a part of it, yes.
Okay. And then so then people just regularly take puberty suppressants, and we don't
But
know
you
what
can
that
start
does.
you can start puberty at 8 and not move into Tanner stage 2 until you hit 11 or 12. Right?
Right. Okay. So regardless of all of that, right? So say hypothetically you have, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, who is saying for some reason that they want these medications. The parent is just supposed to give it to them,
What if a child? Well, a child's typically not going to understand what the medication is. They're kids, right?
Well, they're
What's going to
saying I
happen?
want to be a different. I want to be a different thing than I am. I
What's
want
gonna
to be on these
what's going to
medications.
happen is if you have a child and your child comes to you and presents as showing any hint of gender dysphoric behavior, right? What you would do is you would take that child to a therapist or a counselor. They would see if that child is truly gender dysphoric or truly has a gender incongruence. And if it's severe enough, their doctors will recommend putting them on a treatment plan. It may not be severe enough that they need medical intervention at that point because they might just need social intervention. Typically, pre-puberty, social intervention is enough because a pre-puberty body of a boy and girl aren't that different. It's not until puberty kicks
What is
in.
social intervention? What does that mean?
It means transitioning socially. So clothes would change. You might change your name. You might change your hairstyle. You might start presenting socially as the opposite gender.
Right. Okay. All right. So you know what? I'm not going to argue with you about the trans thing anymore. I think that for me, in my eyes, like a trans person, I'm never going to see them the same way as I would just a regular person. I'm never going to be
regular.
Really able to
what do
say.
You mean? What do you mean by regular?
Like I just automatically am going to mentally put them in a different gender category. I'm never going to be able to see a trans man as the same. I don't know why. I can't even explain that.
I mean, I know why.
Why?
It's trans misogyny.
And how is that?
You are taking somebody who has an identity, and that identity being gender, which is a social identity to begin with, and you are labeling them differently because you believe that gender has to be tied to sex, and that specifically it has to be tied to some reproductive aspect of sex. Like a person's identity of a woman is boiled down. A person's identity of a woman is basically boiled down to, can they have kids or not?
Well, I think that a part of your identity is the gender that you were born with, so that, biologically, men and women have differences that influence our behavior, our decisions, the way we perceive things, and so on.
It's your gender is not something you're born with. Now you can have a predisposition to identifying with a
Or
specific
your
gender,
sex, your
but you're
sex,
not.
rather.
Yeah,
Your
but
sex,
your sex
you
does
got it.
not determine who you are. So my issue is you're like,
It doesn't determine who you are, but it influences
I
your
promise
behavior.
I promise you, there are women that exist on this planet that you would call women who would not meet the criteria you lay out for what a female should be.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are also
But you would
people
still
that don't
consider
meet the
them.
criteria for what
But
I
you would.
think
But listen, you would
person
still
is,
consider them women.
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Well, Finn, we
but my point is
out of time. So it's time. I have to move on now.
All right. Goodbye.
Yeah. Mira sent a memo to kick Finn, and so did Balthazar, paid to kick Finn as well. Can you guys do me a favor if you're gonna call in? Fucking, I don't know. Could you have researched the thing you're calling in to talk about? Is that possible, guys? Like I don't even think Finn. I don't think Finn was disingenuous. I don't think Finn was bad faith. So I want to just be very clear here. I'm not like picking on him. It's very frustrating to have these conversations, right? And essentially, I'm just being a Google, right? You're not arguing a point you have because your point isn't based in any factual reality. I just feel like I'm being Google.
I'm 19 and he, him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry, I guess I muted my stream mix somehow. Anyway, let me reset. Paul, 19, calling to talk about trans men and women being men and women. Paul, I believe trans men and women are men and women. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
Well, I think that socially we should treat transgender people however they want to be. Call them by their chosen pronouns, treat them as their chosen sex, that's fine. Biologically, and I don't really think there's a way around this, they still are their sex that they were when they were born.
We're not talking about sex, though. We're talking about gender.
Oh. Well,
So like
isn't that,
knowing
I
that,
guess
do you agree that trans men and women are men and women? Since you know now we're not talking about sex.
I mean, if we're not talking about sex, I feel like, I mean, we should treat them as whatever gender they want to be.
Well, it's whatever gender they are.
What they are.
Yeah,
Well,
they
I
are. They
understand that
trans women,
gender
for instance, trans
is
women
separate
are
from
women,
sex,
so we treat them as women.
and my thing there is I understand that gender is separate from sex. And like one is how you feel and how society sees you and your brain chemicals and all of this, and the other one is factual. And like I said, I feel like we should treat them how they want to be treated, and that's all fine. But I feel like at the end of it, they're still not factually their chosen gender. Then
Why not? Why wouldn't they be? If a trans woman is a woman, like why are you claiming that they are not a woman?
Well, I mean, science and like factually, you can have whatever treatments you want and hormone replacement therapy and whatever surgery, but you can't exactly change your chromosomes, right?
But
So
again, you're
socially,
defaulting back to sex. I'm not talking about sex. We're talking about gender.
oh, okay, well, this is interesting then. I mean, isn't gender kind of a made up thing anyway?
It's a social construct, but so is like almost
Yeah.
everything we engage with in our daily lives. What does that matter?
I mean, I think what I'm trying to say here is that I think it's just all not really, gender isn't really a factual thing. It's not like in the grounds of science. It's like how society perceives you, how you want to be perceived, your brain, and all of that.
What does that matter?
And I'm trying to say I can't really find a way around that, because if I can't default to science, then I
Well,
don't think
just
I can
FYI,
get
science would agree with me, like psychology, sociology, neurobiology, just
Yeah,
standard biology, all
I
affirm
understand.
that trans women are women. So
But
science
if we could
affirms this.
talk about that, then it's my main thing on that front is like chromosomes, right? Like let's say I was born with XY chromosomes and then, I transitioned, but I still have those chromosomes. I don't have XX now.
So you're saying women
Right.
can't have XY chromosomes?
I understand there's like some diseases that you can get when you're
Diseases.
like a baby and like you can have like an extra chromosome. I get that. But most of the time,
We're
and
not
for
talking about
most
extra.
people,
Let me just ask, I just want to ask you a blanket yes or no question. Can women
okay,
have XY chromosomes? Is that physically possible that women have XY chromosomes?
women can have a Y chromosome. Yes, that is
No,
true.
I'm not even just talking about why. Is it possible that women have like if we do a karyotype test on them, like if their karyotyping of chromosomes could be identical to yours and it could just be like a pure 46XY chromosomal karyotype. Is this possible in science?
Uh, I think so.
Yep. So if it's possible, so if women can have XY chromosomes, then trans women would also just be women who have XY chromosomes. Since it's possible to be a woman and possess XY chromosomes, there we go. We know that
Okay,
this is a
well,
possibility.
okay, then if there's, I thought we might run into this. Like I said, like if one of these people is born looking like a woman, having, female genitalia, all of this, and like they develop breasts and all of that, and they also have an XY chromosome, then I would still say that they're women. And more importantly, I feel like that's how they would also want to be perceived.
I'm sorry, say that again?
But I said that, like, if a woman was born presenting like a woman, like, long hair, developing breasts, female genitalia, all of that, and then they grow up feeling that way, acting that way, looking that way, but they just so happen to have an XY chromosome, I feel like they're still women, and more importantly,
Yeah, but we're just talking about the rules of categorization here. So if I'm categorizing men and women, and I can't use XX or XY chromosomes to categorize them because some women have XY chromosomes, so I can't cleanly make that category break, then I can't use this as a way to exclude women. I can't say, well, these women can't be women because they have XY chromosomes, because there are some women who do possess XY chromosomes. Right? We're just base level categorizing stuff here.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I guess the question I would ask is that like an edge case? Do you know how many women
in category
are born with XY chromosomes?
Yeah, hundreds to thousands of them, possibly even millions. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because the in categorization, frequency doesn't matter. One thing that breaks the category rule, and so your category rule now has to change.
I guess so. Then I can't really argue with that.
Yeah,
and that was kind of So would it be special pleading if I excluded edge cases?
Yes. You'd basically be saying,
Well,
I'm right if you exclude all the things that make me wrong. You know?
Okay.
Like there's no such thing as fire type Pokemon if you exclude all the fire types.
Well, I guess that's just about it then.
All right. Well, then do you agree with me that trans men and women are men and women?
I guess I would have to then. I mean, that's really all I could come up with. So.
All right, Paul, can we hear you say it?
Sure. I mean, I guess since now we know that I can't say that men have XY and women have XX, then I guess so. Then transgender men and women are, I guess, well, not biologically, but still men and women, I suppose.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take the. It's not entirely true, but I'll take it. Paul, thanks for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Sub 10 minutes on that one. I think that's a good way to say it. All Pokemon are fire types if I exclude all the Pokemon that are not fire types. You know? I think that's a good way to do it. All right, last call of the day. We're going to take Justin. Justin is calling to talk about topic number 3, the Christian God being evil. Justin, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Yes, I am 29 and I am a man.
Okay, are we doing fake accents today?
Oh, no, my friend, it is not fake.
So we are doing fake accents today.
Oh, my friend, what is wrong with my accent, my friend?
All right, see you later.
My friend, I waited so...
Okay, guess that wasn't the last. Guess that our last call was a troll. Thanks for watching over on YouTube. Thanks for being here and hanging out with me. It's been fun. It's been real. Come over to Twitch if you want to enter the giveaway. If you've not followed me on Twitch, you're only gonna have like 10 minutes to get over there. Because like after you have to wait 10 minutes to chat. So get over to Twitch. We're gonna give away a t-shirt from the merch store. So get over to Twitch if you want to try to win a t-shirt. Other than that, YouTube has been real fun. Check out, this stream's VOD should be up on the VOD channel tomorrow. If you want, you can watch yesterday's VOD, which is up already. So thanks for being here, YouTube. I will see you guys later tonight for the stream with Lux. That is at 6:30 Eastern for calling it now. So catch us on that one. Sorry I couldn't read all the super chats, but when everything reset on me, I lost them all. And it would take way too long. I was saving them for the longest time. It would take way too long to do. So yeah. See you guys tomorrow for the Gauntlet. YouTube tomorrow. Gauntlet, 2 p.m. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. All right. Twitch. Let's do a giveaway. Let's see, what do I want to give away? What? Oh, because that's not okay. I was like, wait, why are my buttons working again? Because they're different buttons. Let's give away. Simply because nobody ever buys it, I'm gonna do the Carl's Jr. t-shirt. Because nobody ever buys the Carl's Jr. t-shirt. So I want to give away the Carl's Jr.'s t-shirt. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, we're gonna get, oh wait, I can't because my buttons aren't working. Well, just go to the website and you'll see the Carl's Jr. t-shirt. All right, we're giving one of these away. If you win, I'm gonna send you a message, whisper on Twitch. So if you win, you're gonna get a whisper on Twitch. We're gonna start the giveaway. I'm gonna give 10 minutes to enter, and I'm gonna go pee. And then when I get back, we will, yeah, we'll do all the other stuff when we get back. So giveaways. Man, it's been a while since we did it. We haven't done a giveaway since September, or since January. Wow. Wow. Remember, if you are subbed, you get 2 entries. So if you are a sub, you get 2 entries to the giveaway. All right, giveaway is started. Type in !, enter in the chat to enter the giveaway. And I'm gonna go pee and I'll be right back. Is it not working? I'm not showing anybody entered. It's literally showing me no tickets were given. What? Oh my gosh, is Cloudbot even still a bot on my stream? Wait. Wait. This was broken this whole time? Nobody told me? Oh wait, I didn't want to do that. Hold on. Oh yeah, hold on. Wait, yes it is. All right, hold on. Let me try this again. Sorry, guys. Let me try again. T-shirt giveaway. Acting 1, general, t-shirt, confirm. Let's try to change it back to 5 minutes, maybe? Start giveaway. You guys are doing exclamation point enter? Yeah. Nothing. Let me try to use, sorry, let me stop this. Let me try to use Nightbot. Let me switch to Nightbot. That's so weird, guys. I genuinely don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's do a giveaway and let's do it with Nightbot. All right, let's see if this works. Guys, stop spamming our we're gonna... I'm not gonna do the giveaway. Type in exclamation point enter in chat now and see. Still nothing. What the fuck? All right, try exclamation point join. Will that work now? Okay, no. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do then. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Cancel that. Let me try it this way instead. All right, turn off emote only, please. It's like every giveaway is broken. Nightbot's not working. Streamlabs isn't working. What is going on? Is it because your stream crashed earlier? That should play no... It doesn't... The stream is up right now, so it shouldn't matter. Yeah, we'll do the giveaway at the start of next stream. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this a little bit. I don't know what the fuck is going on, genuinely. I'm trying to run it on 2 different bots and it's not working. So we'll do the giveaway at the start of next stream, okay? I genuinely don't know why it's not working, and I need to now troubleshoot this a little bit. All right. Maybe if I can get it working by tonight, I can run it on the line. I can run it like through the line. Okay. Guys, I'll see you on my channel tomorrow for the gauntlet, and I'll see you on the line tonight for the line. All right. Do you want to raid somebody real quick? I think Lisa's live. Do you want to go raid Lisa real quick? Or should we raid somebody new? Should we do a raid real quick, guys? What you think, chat? What you think, chat?
Yes, it's RBG.
Oh wait, Pillow, didn't you earn a raid before? Or where'd you get what? Is Riverboat Jack live? No. I'm just gonna look up leftists on yeah, like I said, Lisa's live. I can always just raid Lisa. Let's just raid Lisa. Lisa's live. Why not? No one tell Lisa I'm about to raid her. All right, I'll see y'all later. See y'all later for line stream. Toodaloo. Ta-ta. Bye. Bye. Bye chat. Bye. Bye. Bye chat. Bye chat. Bye chat. Bye. Bye. Bye chat. Bye chat. Bye. Bye chat. Bye. See ya. See ya chat. Bye. Bye chat. Bye. See ya.